Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the DTM Esports 2025. Oh, it feels like ages now since we've done the shootouts, but we are here for another season. My name's Luke Crane. I'll be one of your hosts for this, and I'm joined by Connery Maddock. Connery, how the devil are you doing?
We're back doing DTM Esports, doing what we love for the last couple of years, isn't it, Luke? So I'm super stoked to get this race started because there's been a lot of hype. We had the whole shootout process to get sorted, to get our qualified drivers into this season, and I think everyone's just super optimistic for the very start.
100%. If there's one thing that you get with any RaceRoom top tier championship, it's how close the grid is from the quickest to the slowest, if you like. It's use that term very, very loosely. But let's do a bit of housekeeping then. So let's check out the calendar for the season that we are going to be embarking upon. So we've got round one happening today. We're at Zandvoort. Then we head to the Norris Ring, which is only 4 corners, so that's going to be very exciting on the 4th of April. Then we head to the Nürburgring for round number 3. Then there's a DTM Esports special event. Still have no idea what that is, so excited to see how that plays out. That is going to be on the 9th of May. Then we head to the Saxon Ring for round number 4, which is going to be on the 30th of May. Then we head to June and we head to the Red Bull Ring for round number 5. And then the finale will be at the Hockenheim Ring on the 18th of July for round 6. So there's 2 races per event as well. Let's check out the timetable for today, though, because there's something a little bit extra special, something a little bit different that we have got in store for you each and every week that we bring this championship to you. Of course, the stream start is at 19:10, which is CET if you're in America right now, or if you're in England like I am. That's wrong, but it is what it is. We then welcome you, which we're doing right now. Unbelievable. And we got something a little bit special for you. So we've got a community cup. What that means is every single event, there is a time trial for anybody that's not in the championship to get themselves involved in a community cup, and there are prizes on offer for that as well. So each week you have a chance to qualify to be in part of the stream. You're not in the DTM Esports Championship, but you get a chance to showcase your skills on a live broadcast. Then we'll head to race number 1, which is only 20 minutes long, 10 minutes qualifying, 20 minutes long, no pit stop in that race. It's just a flat out sprint. Then we head to qualifying number 2, and then we head to race number 2, which is 30 minutes, and there is a mandatory pit stop, which indeed they have to serve, and they have to put 4 new boots onto the car. And then we end the stream, and we go to sleep. That's pretty much how it will work. But let's check out then the entry list for this season. And this is my favorite part now, because not only have we got all of the drivers on the grid, but they've got their own team liveries as well. As you can see them, top left, we've got Tim Yarshall, Lucas Muller, Leonard Krippner, all in a Porsche. They are representing Falcon Sim Racing Team. Then we've got Gianmarco Fiducci, he's a privateer this time round. For Gladius Competitions, we've got Vil Craivi. Andika Rama Maulana for Legion of Racers is here as well. Emre Chihan, who's a privateer. Lloyd Badolf, another privateer. And then we've got a few cars racing for needracing.com. There's actually 5 in a row. We've got Turka Hakkinen, and we've got Christian Mitchell and Philip Drays with Dravozikov, who is named. Can't believe you qualified there, Ilya. It's unbelievable. You've really hurt me as a commentator. But I'm going to have to learn how to say his name for the entirety of this season. We've got Julian Kunzer as well, all of them representing the Porsche. Of course, the Porsche was the championship winning manufacturer last time round with Tim Yarshall. Nicholas Huben then for Team Nitro in the Ferrari. Also in a Ferrari, joining him are the next 2 drivers, Michal Neg for Walk Racing Esports, Enzo Filipal, who is a privateer. Then we head down to Leonard Carton, who is in the first of our Lamborghinis there. We've got Ben Spanky, also represented Dur Esports, and Max Pfeiffer. They are both in the Ferrari. And then we've got Florian Hasse in the second of only 2, by the looks of things, Lamborghini. Then we've got Christian Juhas and Patrick Jari. There's always a Hungarian, and there's 2 of them right there. We have got them for Cheze Esports, both of them representing Ferrari. We've then got a BMW for Distinct.gg, Bo Dixon. If you're watching on my channel right now, you are fully aware of who Bo Dixon is. Nice to see him representing Distinct.gg in a top-tier esports event. Then we've got Luciano Whitver, who's had many battles actually with Bo Dixon, ironically, representing WOOR and JSM Motorsport. He is in the Mercedes. And then we've got a load of BMWs. We've got 4 BMWs for R8G Esports. We've got Otto Viani. We have then got Klaffenbock, De Bruin, Peter Berliak. Then we head to Isaac Price, who's a privateer today. He will be in a Papaya McLaren. Then we have Manuel Vera Cremona for Alien Motorsport Esports team. He's in the BMW. And then finally, we have Maciej Mielniak, who is so private. He doesn't have an image, but he will be in the Porsche. Connery, let's just have a little quick talk about this entry list. Of course, Tim Yarshall's the boy, the champion, the reigning champ, dominant champ, did unbelievably well also in the shootouts. Apart from him, who sticks out of those 30 drivers?
Well, yeah, you've got to consider the old guard, right? You've got to consider Isaac Price probably going to be up there and fighting. We got Florian Hasse in as well. Vogt had a decent performance last season as well. So as a return to this series, he's potentially going to be up there and fighting too. But you are absolutely right, though. Tim Yarshall is the man to beat. If you ask me, he was incredible during the shootouts. He was incredible last season. And, well, it's currently a bit of an unknown about who's going to be stepping up to the plate to try and challenge his title.
Yeah, and this is my part of the stream, guys. I was the one who asked for the past champions graphic in the shootout. I think it's very important that we celebrate those past champions, and we still got that graphic for this time round. So these are your past champions. In 2020, it was Moritz Lohner. Then we had Kevin Siggy, and well, in 2024, it was Tim Yarshall, who actually beat Kevin Siggy and Moritz Lohner. So maybe that's the most important championship victory out of the three of them, for my money. But could Tim Yarshall become the first ever two-time? He's the only person that can do that. So, yeah, very interesting to see how he does in 2025. Right, let's talk about, I don't know what that means. Let's look about the Trek information for today. We're heading to the Netherlands. We are heading to Zandvoort, of course. And, well, we've got 14 corners here. You can see the most important corners are actually highlighted in yellow because they're the banked turns. It's very important that you can set yourself up out of the final turn along that long start-finish straight in towards turn number 1. But there's also an opportunity to make a move through turn number 4 as well. But there are two different lines. The inside line, ironically, is a slower line than the outside line. So you're going to see a lot of cars take the outside line. The two race times are going to be 20 and indeed 30 minutes. And, well, the race distance is going to be 146 kilometres, apparently, between the two. The actual lap record is Ben Durr, which is the official, real-life lap record, with a 33.614 for Durr Motorsport. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how close that these drivers do indeed get to those times. Let's check out the BOP then. I know this is something that people would like to talk about. I don't. I think it's a waste of our time watching the broadcast, but a lot of people like to know what car is the strongest and all that good stuff. Well, the Ferrari has been given an extra 13 kilograms. And then you've got the Porsche 911 GT3 who's been given an extra 17 kilograms. And I guess it's being penalised for last year being the dominant car. McLaren only been given 2 kilograms. The BMW, or the BMW, has been given 12 kilograms. The Lamborghini Huracan has been given 9 kilograms. And then the Mercedes AMG plus 6. So it'll be interesting to see what effect that has on specifically the Porsche and the Ferrari and the BMW. Those were the only 3 cars, I believe, that we had. No, we had the Mercedes last season. We did not have the McLaren. And did we have the McLaren? Maybe we did have the McLaren, but it wasn't chosen very often. The Lamborghini is new, so that's that's definitely new. But let's check out the cars selection. Which car's been selected the most in this championship? So, the Ferrari has had 9 choices. I don't know why the Porsche isn't on the left-hand side. It's a bit of a weird order, but here we are. Ferrari's got 9 choices. The Porsche's been chosen 10 times. The McLaren has only been picked once, same as the Mercedes AMG. BMW has been picked 8 times, and the Lamborghini Huracan has only been chosen 3 times. You're going to see a lot of Ferraris, a lot of Porsche, but every single car has indeed been chosen. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out across the start of this season. Right, we've actually got a very, very quick interview with the head of RaceRoom Esports, Chris Bauer, before we head to our Community Cup race. So let's go and check out that interview.
Hi, Oliver Langdorf is with us. So a warm welcome. The season in the DTM Esports Championship is starting today, but let's have a look on the real-life DTM. I think it's going to be an exciting season. We have 2 new manufacturers in the grid. We have a lot of experience, but also some new drivers. So what are your expectations for the upcoming season?
Thank you, Toby. We are expecting a spectacular season, especially with Ford and Aston Martin joining the DTM squad. We have Timo Glock back in the DTM grid. He's a legend in German motorsports and especially also, I think, also in Formula 1. So we're really looking forward for an exciting season. Everything is prepared for the first race in Oschersleben end of April. But before we have the DTM Esports Championship coming up.
Yeah, let's talk about this in a couple of seconds. But first of all, you mentioned already Timo Glock. Is he surely a win for the DTM that he's back in the grid?
Yes, he is a win for the whole German motorsport, and especially for DTM. He's an expert. He's a really experienced driver. It will be interesting to see how he's competing against the young guns, and maybe he will show them where to go, yeah, in the future. It will be an interesting battle, yeah. But of course, he's a legend. I mentioned already. He's a Sky expert for Sky Television and Formula One, so he brings a lot to DTM, which we are all looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And today is the kickoff of the new DTM Esports Championship season 2025. And what are the goals for esports and also your expectations for the season?
Oh, we have many different goals with the DTM Esports Championship. First of all, we want to have the best sim racing championship in the world with the DTM Esports Championship. I think it's really a good sign that we had more than 7,000 people try to qualify for the DTM Esports Championship, but we also want to have the support for young drivers, making the way from the sim racing and ideally right into DTM at the end of their career, like Tim Heinemann did a few years before.
Absolutely. I think we have some great talents racing today already in the DTM Esports Championship, and we saw a lot of them also on trackside, hopefully maybe in a cockpit. That would be a great thing. But gaming in esports is appealing to young people. And do you see or do you feel that there are more young people attending a DTM weekend and they are more into motorsport now?
Yes, definitely a clear yes. Motorsport in the younger audience or younger target groups is quite popular. We see it at Formula One, but we also see it at DTM. More than 30% of the on-site spectators at DTM, they're younger than 18 years. So, and of course, we have free admissions for young people under 16. So you can have a great weekend with your friends there, just for hardly any money except for some drinks.
Absolutely. So please come to the racetrack. It's going to be a great show also in 2025. We already saw it the last couple of years. So yeah, finally, what headline do you want to read after the end of the season 2025? Make a wish.
The wish would be it was a spectacular season, and we can't wait to kick off the new season in 2026.
Thank you very much, Carola Rangdorf. Thank you.
Thank you, Toby. Bye-bye, and good start to everyone.
There we go. Good to hear from Kay there. Again, I got the video wrong there, chaps and chapettes, so I can only apologise for that. But yeah, so that was nice to hear about the new DTM season. As someone who used to work for DTM, I'm very much excited to see it. If you can get to a race, please go. The accessibility to the drivers, to the cars is just, second to none. It's just not, there's nothing else like it out there. So it's very, very impressive. Right, something we should mention about the Community Cup. Each week it'll be a different class of car and obviously a different track. It'll be the similar.
Looks like we had a little bit of an issue with the connection to Luke there, so I guess I'll have to explain the DTM Community Cup. So it's, as Luke just started, we'll be getting ourselves our different machines out there every single week where members of the community can get themselves featured on this DTM Esports live broadcast. What a massive opportunity for some of our most valued community members here on RaceRoom, because yes, we can talk about the pro drivers all day long, but the regular sim racer also might want to get themselves involved in this as well, and this is going to be their chance to be able to do so.
Not slow drivers. Brandt as well, someone I've come across before in 7th Fraser Rostance. Good to see Fraser. I can guarantee you he's the oldest on the grid. That's for sure. That's his tagline, the oldest man in sim racing, or like one of the oldest people in sim racing. But yeah, it's just nice to see an opportunity for the community to get involved with these main broadcasts. So it is a 20-minute race, ladies and gentlemen. Cars, we are ready to rock and indeed roll. It will be a rolling start as well, I believe, for these drivers, and there will be a running championship, but you can qualify each and every week, so it'll be a different grid each time. Here we go, Connery. We're about to go.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to get these guys featured on this particular broadcast, because not everyone will get the opportunity to race at the top level of sim racing and to feature on these streams and things like that. So it's a really, really good opportunity for some of these drivers to really get the experience, I guess, of like being a pro sim racer.
Yeah, certainly. It certainly is. Again, maybe a chance to showcase. Maybe there's some drivers out there who didn't even try and qualify or weren't able to qualify. And it looks like we're actually going to have a standing start. So it's not a start behind a safety car that we're used to with the DTM. But here we are. We're off and we're running. We've got a couple of Fords at the front here. We're about to go green light racing for the first race of the season for the Community Cup and the DTM 2025. We've got a couple of cars, a couple of Audis there off the track, but we can't see them because of the smoke that's being forced down. And Auburn gets a very, very good start here. Grotter's going to try and go around the outside, not going to work. He's going to drop a couple of positions. We've got a Ford, we've got an Audi, and I think we've also got a Mercedes there making their way up towards the top three. And Grotter has dropped down into fourth spot.
Yeah, absolutely. So Grotter losing positions early on. He might lose another one as I'm going to struggle with that name. Uvashenko heads his way through. So Grotter down another position here as the Russian driver of that Audi heads his way through on him, trying to get towards those podium positions. Speaking of, that top three are sort of trying to break away at this stage due to all of the shenanigans that are happening behind them, but they're pretty much all strung out single file here at the moment. No retirements this early on, although I do see Oliver Jordan down in P21, last place at the moment, seem to have had issues at the very start.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of buzzing people in the chat. So you can see a change for the lead here, the Portuguese driver of Santos. They're making a move into the final chicane, but look at the difference in speed in a straight line. Oh, brilliantly done. It's not quite going to work out there because Orban is going to retake the position. Now they come into the final chicane, should I say. And this is the great thing about this class of cars specifically, is that there's so many differences between these cars. In the modern era with the BOP, they're all very similar. Of course, some cars are better around corners, better in a straight line, but not to the differences you'll see in this. So that Ford is massively quicker in a straight line than the Audi in behind, but you'll see that the Audi will close up into the braking zone, be so much better through the corners. So it's great to see that how pronounced the characteristics of these cars really are.
Yeah, absolutely, and just these. It's just wonderful seeing these cars out there, actually, isn't it? Because we're used to the modern way of doing things with all the new technology and all the aero and things like that. But to see some good old classic racing, these are the 1992 DTM cars. I'm just kind of stoked as you see Uvashenko trying to defend from Grotter, who's on a little bit of a recovery from the very start of the race, sort of all over the back of that Audi in front of him, but really finding no way through here at the moment, and those leaders are just getting further and further away. And I'm surprised here, Luke, to see how much drifting is going on and how much smoke is being produced by some of these cars in these corners. And look at that, nose in. Really aggressive there from Alexei.
They're just such heavy cars. Orban, there we go, Ratsier moved there from Grotter down the inside of the Russian, and well, he's not Russian to give that position up, that's for sure, because he's going to hold on, and on the exit of the final chicane, he is going to hold on to the position, and actually, all of a sudden, we've got Bjorn here, looking to get involved, maybe be the opportunist, not quite going to work out there. So, as it stands, Orban, as always a Hungarian, leads the way, as we get a lovely onboard here then of Bjorn. Can Bjorn make something happen? There we go, we see the banking on the exit of the final corner. Look at the straight line speed difference between the Ford and indeed the Audi. And right now, you should see the Audi send it up the inside here quite comfortably, and then the Ford's going to struggle to get the car turned in, and ultimately the Audi should come out on top. Here we go, the overlap happening there. But the speed difference in a straight line is just massive. But the cornering speed difference for the Audi is, again, just as significant as we come then through turn number 4. 2 different lines being taken. Inside line being taken there by Bjorn, but on the exit, the Ford should get back ahead. And actually, with that straight line speed, this might end up being 3 wide. Trying to find a bit of room on the grass. And as we come through the roller coaster section here at Zandvoort, this is brilliant action. Look at this. I'm very fortunate. I actually used to commentate the DTM Classics, and I got to commentate on some of these cars, and there just isn't a sound like it. This group of cars specifically was just an unbelievable sound to hear in real life.
Yeah, I can just imagine. So it's there's something about it, and also I guess if you're there in person, you also got the smell, right?
Yes, no, there is that. Yeah, that's not just me sweating. That is also the car. Yeah, no, the smell is quite something as well. We actually had from a couple of years newer than this, 1994, we had an Alfa Romeo from the season, which we see a potential move being made again. It's possible, but the Audi is so much better through the corners, and Grotta should now get a run as we come down towards the final corner, and should be able to comfortably, by the time we get out of the final corner, make a move down towards turn number 1. But we had an Alfa Romeo that Lorini used to drive in the ITC Championship, which is effectively the DTM Championship. And I've never heard anything like it. It was actually a Formula 1 engine, and it's just the loudest thing I've ever heard. As we come then down towards turn number 1, and Grotta right now needs to get across the bonnet of the Audi to basically complete the move. It's not going to work out. That door's going to be left open on the inside again, but this battle is just raging on, lap after lap after lap, and you blink and you miss it. We've only got 14 minutes left of this race. We see a potential send again from Grotta. We've got Evzhenko who's just about holding on, but I think the outside line here is probably going to favour Grotta. Grotta now does have an overlap to work with. He has got that speed advantage in a straight line, using the grass as well through the roller coaster again, and the Audi proving to be better through the corners and holding on. This is brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant stuff, and very respectful racing as well. You can see how desperate Grotta is trying to push through. I mean, he had 2 tyres in the grass at one point, but still the space was given by the Audi as this continues on. The front 3 have run off into the sunset. They're completely checked out, saying goodbye to the rest of this pack as they all try to fight in behind. A little bit of a move being made a little bit further back though. Sebastian Ree down the inside of Magales. Through the smoke they come. Magales having to be trapped on the outside now of the German as they race their way down through this middle sector. And again, a little bit scurry on the brakes for Magales, the Brazilian, trying to make this overlap work down into here, side by side between the two.
Yeah, Reed trying to make a move here on Magalhaes, and Magalhaes just about holds on as we come then down towards that final corner. Can Reed hold a line round the outside? It's tough to do so around there. Ultimately decides to back out, so I think Bernd might have got involved there as well. But now this is the difference once again. The speed difference will come into fruition. We're seeing the battle for P4 right before our very own eyes, and actually for the first time Grotta has finally got it done. Inside line this time as well for Ree. Magalhaes is going to have to, well, no, he's not giving up at all. He has kept that overlap just about, but now that speed difference should come into fruition. Move done and dusted, and Ree moves up a spot. Let's go a little bit further down the grid, by the way. Jordan, who's in the first of our opens, is not just oh, there we go. That's such a beautiful looking car. Beautiful looking car. You know, we've got Opel on the grid, we've got Mercedes on the grid, but mostly it is Ford and indeed Audi. Sorry there, Connery. We'll go back up to the leaders again now. I just wanted to showcase that we do have a couple of Opels out there on the circuit. We're on board with Santos then, who's going to have to try and defend from Ribeiro. Ribeiro is actually also Portuguese. So we're going to have an all-Portuguese battle for a second right now. And remember, that car out the front might come back to these. The tyre wear is very significant, especially with the Ford. So expect to see Orban maybe getting back involved in this sooner rather than later.
Potentially leaning on those tyres a little bit more. You might think this is such a short race, it shouldn't matter, but yeah, these cars are really true through those tyres. So potentially expect Orban to fall back in, but we'll see how things go, because if Santos and Ribeiro get involved with each other here and slow each other down, Orban can then potentially relax a little bit, not lean on as much on the tyres, and try and coast home with the 11 minutes and 30 seconds that we have left to run here. You can see Santos getting a little bit sketchy, driving from his wing mirrors here on the way down in towards turn number 1, but Ribeiro taking that big wide line. Has he got an overlap? No, he hasn't, in towards T1.
I tell you what, Orban managed to gain about half a second in a straight line. As you see a big send up the inside there. Ree is up the inside of Bjorn. Bjorn, though, is just about going to keep the overlap on the exit, I believe. No, he doesn't. It's done and dusted in the Ree making another move then. So looking to try and get up towards that top 5. Evtushenko next to take on.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gala's getting himself involved in here. There was a little bit of a slide a little bit further back. It's just a big gaggle of Audis back here, all in the same livery, so it is pretty difficult to tell them apart. Magala's holding on here at the moment with that second, Audi, that second in line there. Meanwhile, a little bit further up, Sebastian Reed leaning on the back of Yuvashenko. I'm going to butcher that name every single time, I apologise. But Sebastian Reed, look at him, right on that rear bumper of the Audi ahead. For P5.
He's given him a good old sniff. It's Ree there. Evtushenko certainly knows that there is a Ford. He's actually probably going to have the Ford badge on the rear of his Audi by the end of this race. They've been that close. As we now head down towards the final 4 corners, as we see some side-by-side action a little bit further back there. Magalhaes and Bjorn trying to battle for that P7. Magalhaes, ooh, he just about holds on there. Looks like Bjorn momentarily got ahead and it didn't quite work out, and Bjorn now under pressure from Percy. So Percy getting involved here. We'll have to take the outside line through the final couple of corners. We'll squeeze there Bjorn onto the apex of corners. Brilliant stuff from Percy, just taking the opportunity when it presented itself, and now we'll have the outside line, so you'll see that the momentum should move to the car on the outside, and by the time they get down towards turn number 1, I'd be very surprised if we don't see Percy send one up the inside and see some moves happening a little bit further up. Ree then being forced to go round the outside, and well, he sold an absolute dummy there, a beautiful dummy on Evtushenko. Evtushenko has, well, he's recovered pretty nicely, although no, it's not going to work out, and Ree will take that 5th position. And I tell you what, Rory, you nailed it earlier on. Not only is the racing been very, very good and very fun to commentate, it's been very respectful.
It is, and remember, guys, these are not the quote-unquote pro drivers that we'll be seeing a little bit later on. The professional esports drivers. These are just members of the RaceRoom community, and they're giving us an absolutely fantastic show here. Felix Bjorn currently caught on the outside here. Percy down the inside.
Dan Kalsa with a brilliant move on Bernd, by the way. Bernd now under a bit of pressure from Georgiev as well. Oh no, sorry, is Bernd trying to remake the move there on Dan Kalsa. So that was happening in the background. And it's hard to tell who's who here because there's literally 6 of the same car. There's one different one with a sun visor that's yellow. But this is just ridiculous racing. You're seeing paint being swapped, although it won't make a difference again because they're the same paint scheme. So they just look the same by the end of it. We're going to get a bit of a send up the inside. That's borderline.
Come on, guys.
Oh, they're off.
No.
They're off. And it's just unfortunate there that Evtushenko's the guy that gets turned around there. That wasn't his fault. He's been sent there by Percy. And ultimately, Evtushenko can feel a little bit hard done by there. That was not on him whatsoever. And Percy, I say he missed his braking point. I'm not sure he even found a braking point. He just sent it with full force there, and then just tried to hook the anchors a little bit too late. So very unfortunate. We've actually got the Opel there of Jordan starting to get involved with the pack behind. So we might see the Opel making his way through the pack. Seems like that car might be a little bit better on the tyres at this stage of the race. And I was saying that Orban might come back towards P2. It's not been the case. 5 seconds now, the difference. And like I say, it's always a Hungarian. There is always a Hungarian in a RaceRoom esports race. And right now, there's one right in the front.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, it's quite funny that happened just as I was singing their praises of keeping it all clean. They decide to do that. I think that is probably the case of the commentator in action. Look at this through the S's section. Georgiev and Yuvashenko. As we see Georgiev go out into the grass there, he might end up losing this position here to Bernd, who finds himself down the inside there. But my word, that got close coming through the S's. That's such a high-speed section, and can end in tears very quickly. And it ends in tears now. Brett in the wall.
Bernd has just been, he's just been bum packed there, unfortunately, and he was just a little bit slow on the apex, and the car behind just couldn't react. It's hard enough commentating when there's 6 in the same car, let alone when you've named one driver 6 different names in the last 60 seconds. So there's 12 of them. Evtushenko's been named like his parents now. You'd be like, well, what is his name? We don't know. We have no idea anymore.
But by the way, this train for sort of P5 and back is still raging on. in and amongst all of these Audis. Sorry, P6 and back, I should say, as they head on to the banking here with coming up to 6 minutes left to go. Go ahead.
P2, look at the battle for P2 here. Look how close it is. Wow, yes, these three have really closed up when they've actually got past Ribeiro. So Ribeiro has dropped down, and I guess the battle between Santos and Ribeiro has given the opportunity for Grotta to catch up. Three different manufacturers, all battling for that second position through roller coaster again, and it is Santos that just about holds firm, and I think Ribeiro is very much struggling. Oh, looks like Percy now is falling down the order. Oh, well, that's looks like I've sat on that boot. That's not good. Oh, whoa. Yo, you're about to get Connery Police there. He's not going to be happy with that rejoin. Magalej. Oh, that is not... Yeah, I'll let you take that away, Connery. I know you hate a rejoin like that.
Like, I think it's good that we don't have replays here because we probably don't want to watch that attempt again. As Michalis decides to take the tow back to pit lane, will be one of three retirements as we look back towards the podium. Sitter, Nuno Santos pushes out wide. Here comes Ribeiro in the Mercedes. Bit of a drag race down in towards the next braking zone here. Battle of the late breakers as they head their way in towards the right. Slight overlap for the Mercedes on the outside, and he gets through. Ribeiro P2.
Oh, this is brilliant stuff here. Santos just lost the position for a little bit, but now as we come through the final couple of corners, pinches Ribeiro onto the apex of the first right-hander, and this is now bringing Grotta back into position, and by the time they get down towards turn number one, they might be in a bit of trouble, both of these cars here. Grotta goes out to the far left, trying to find himself a bit of room to maneuver, trying to get the slipstream there of the Audi, plus the overspeed, and now the gap has opened up. Should move up into second, but is there the opportunity, or should I say, up into third position, second of this group, and they have a bit of contact between all three of them. Looks like they're all good. All big snake of oversteer there on the exit for the Mercedes driver of Ribeiro, and Grotta is going to have to live to fight another day, although he does send it through turn number 3, now down towards turn number 4, takes the high line, should get that momentum on the exit, but actually he's just a little bit too far back, and there's 4 minutes left in this race. I have no idea who's going to finish second. This is brilliant.
This is great. This is fantastic. It's just swapping positions left, right, and center. Santos has a little bit of breathing room at the moment in that Audi, but it gets eaten up through some of these sections by the Mercedes and the Ford coming in behind as well. So Santos trying to hold on. Orban has checked out, by the way, 6.5 seconds as far as the race lead is concerned. So pending a solo mistake, he's pretty much clear with less than 4 minutes left to go. But for P2, the less the podium positions, Luke, as you mentioned, well, you could just pick a random one and you probably have about equal chance of winning.
Tell you what, well, I was about to see a potential move here again from Grotta. Ribeiro just gives him a little touch there to go, not today, sunshine, and they get through there relatively well. We've got Jordan, who's battling now with Fraser Rostance, but there's like a group of 4 cars all battling for a top 10 as well. Georgiev, yes, the fastest formation lap in the world, and Jordan has found some serious pace here, and I believe that car is looking after the tyres better than everyone else around, because Jordan was 17th position at the last time we checked, so definitely making his way through this little pack. Fraser Rostance and Charkosset have both fallen foul of Jordan's pace, and now can he make a move then on Georgiev and Ev Tishenko, who are both battling for position? But again, I guess we have to look at the battle for second position. That is what is very hot right now, with 2 minutes 44 seconds left on the clock. We see a big send into turn number 4 then from Ribeiro on Santos. This is going to slow them down significantly enough for Grotta to get back involved. Doesn't work out. Whitmer's has just overtaken Dan Kauster a little bit further back, and we've seen Jordan battling with Ev Tishenko. He's got ahead of Georgiev as well. Oh, look at this. It's like 14 wide. What is going on here? There's a very sick looking car, and I don't mean down with the kids sick as well. That is, I think maybe, oh, who is that? That is Fraser Rostance. And well, he's now going to send it up the inside of turn number 4. He'll be slow on the exit, quick through the entry, and Jordan should get this relatively comfortably on the exit of turn number 4. Now off to chase down Ev Tishenko for a top 10. Can we get an Opel in a top 10?
Oh, we'll just have to wait and see. There's still opportunities for Jordan to make this happen. Maybe an opening off the exit here. There was a compromised line from Ev Tushenko, and now the Opel looks to try and find the gap on the inside. Does not get one, though. Has to look in the wing mirrors, too.
Oh, Fraser Rostance taking full advantage here as well. He's trying to get involved. He's not letting anything go for free here for Jordan, and has got ahead, then switches back underneath to block off any potential attempt there from Jordan to retake it. And Fraser Rostance is rolling back the years. 1 minute 25 seconds left on the clock, I believe, because of how far Orban is in the lead, that we probably still will have 2 more laps to go. We've got someone saying do, Max Verstappen. Yes, he's in the stands here at Zandvoort as we come down towards turn number 1. Grotta round the outside. It's 3 wide on the exit, and by the looks of things, Santos is just about going to hang on. Ribeiro does filter back in behind Santos, and Grotta is going to have to live to fight another day, down towards 4 again. And wow, it is anyone's guess as to who will finish in P2, but Santos right now is doing an unbelievable defensive job.
Yeah, he's doing really, really well, keeping both the Mercedes and the Ford in behind. It's I feel like he doesn't quite have the clear air pace of the 2 guys behind, but he has the positional advantage. He has the defensive advantage in keeping them at bay, and you can see he's a little bit slower through the right there, and as the Mercedes tries to bear down on him. But yeah, this is going to be very, very close for the very end of this race. 25 seconds left on the clock here as they wind their way through.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tight again. Orban is what, 10 seconds up the road, having to deal with some back markers through the final chicane. I think this is it. 10 seconds to go. Yeah, he's definitely not going to cross the line. And actually, I think he's slowing down on purpose to make sure this is the final lap, which is a very clever decision to make. I mention this all the time. When it's very close to being the end of the race, just make sure it is the last lap, as we see some potential moves happening here for P2. Orban will become your first ever Community Cup winner. We are missing a driver here. Yeah, Grotta is, well, there he is. He's in the background. He will not be battling for that podium position, but there is Orban that will take the checkered flag. But who will finish in second position? It is going to be a Portuguese driver, but which one of the 2 will it be? And it's going to be Santos that takes second. Ribeiro will finish in third, if you can see it with all the smoke. Unbelievable action here. This is only the Community Cup, guys. This is the warm-up to the DTM Esports Championship. We've got 2 races for DTM Esports tonight, and well, I'm not sure either of those races are going to be able to take on that for entertainment. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, we can't wait to the race leader for the crossing the line shot at the last moment there, at the wrong moment, shall we say. Who's better, myself or the Formula 1 directors? I don't know. But so we have the rest of the runners head their way across the line here. Jordan did finish 12, so P12 for the Opel, which is by far the most unpopular car in this particular race. So good result there. But my word, yeah, Orban with a dominant performance. But what a crazy situation for P2 and 3.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely phenomenal, guys. It was, yeah, a great start to the Community Cup. You have to let us know in the chat whether you enjoyed that. And remember, we still got the actual DTM Esports Championship yet to begin. We've still got 2 races today. And I'm already breathless. So that's what you can expect from the Community Cup. Each and every week, we're going to have one of those races to kick things off, to warm the stream up. Oh, God. And we've only got 6 minutes until we head to our first DTM Esports race. So if you want to go get yourself a cup of tea, now it is the time to do so. But there it is. Christian Orban is your race winner. Nuno Santos is in second. And then we've got Thomas Ribeiro, who finishes in third position. We've been told that we might get an interview with the race winner from this race, but they've yet to join the lobby. So again, guys, they are told every week you can do an interview with the commentators. If they don't join, there's not a lot we can do about it. So it's just basically you stuck with me. You stuck with me talking rubbish. You stuck with me and Connery. Connery the eye candy, of course. Just talking rubbish. But
too nice.
Connery, what a start to the DTM Esports Championship. We've not even started the DTM Esports Championship.
Yeah, if the support race was like that, like the pro driver is going to have a bit of a task to try and top that one. That's for sure. Incredible stuff. And what else? What other superlatives can I say here, Luke? Because that was pretty damn good. And also, the only thing that would have made it better is a grandstand finish, right? But it's but I'm going to take what we can get with that one.
Yeah, no, poor Orban. Or poor Orban didn't have a race for the win. He don't care. He's 10 seconds in the lead. He couldn't care less. He's gone. Off he goes. But the battle with Santos, Ribeiro, and Grotta was absolutely phenomenal. We've got a question. Alex is asking what sim we're racing on. We are on RaceRoom Racing Experience, mate. So hopefully that helps you out. Right, it doesn't look like we're going to have an interview, guys. So we'll go through some of the information about this championship. We're going to do the whole start of the show again, just so that anyone who's just tuned in, they can understand exactly exactly what's going on. So this is the DTM Esports 2025 season. We're about to kick off with race number 1 of the season. The race you've just seen is actually the Community Cup, which you at home can take part in. So there is a time trial in the game every single week of the race week, and that means you can sign up. If you're in the top 20, you then get a chance to race. Here's the calendar then. Today, Zandvoort, we are here. We're ready to rock and roll, right? Round 2 will be at the Norris Ring. Then we head to the Nürburgring. Then we've got the DTM Esports special event. I have no idea what that is. I still have no idea. I'm pretty excited. It's like a big surprise, like Christmas, but in May. Then we head to the Saxon Ring for round number 4, Red Bull Ring for round number 5, and then we head to the Hockenheim Ring for round number 6. Let's have a very quick look at the timetable for today. We're already well into the timetable, of course. Community Cup race done. We're about to head into qualifying. We've got about 4 minutes until qualifying does indeed begin. So we'll give Connery a chance to get in there before we do indeed have a look at that. And then we've got race number 1, which is 20 minutes. The difference between race 1 and race 2 is that race 1 does not have a mandatory pit stop. In race 2, they have to stop. There'll be a pit window. You'll see it up on your screens on the timing tower, and it will tell you whether a driver's pit or not. And they have to change all 4 tyres. And then the broadcast is over. Racing done. Broadcast is over. Let's check out the entry list just very, very briefly, just so you can see maybe find out who your favorite driver is, maybe your favorite color car, and all of that good stuff. You can see that there's a lot of Porsches on there, a lot of Ferraris chosen on there. We've only got 1 McLaren, I believe, although we're going to see exactly how many were chosen very, very shortly. But you can see all the drivers there with their pictures, apart from Maciej Milniak. He decided that he wants to be he wants to be all nice and mysterious, just in case there's any Tinder dates watching, so he can stay mysterious for them. So that's the entry list. Let's check out the past champions. So Tim Yarshall was the first name on the list, on the entry list. He was the last winner. So he's the reigning champ, and he's the only driver that has a chance to become a 2-time DTM Esports champion. Obviously, Moritz Lohner won in 2020. His prize was to go and have a test for DTM Trophy. He managed to race in DTM Trophy for a season and a half, or nearly 2 seasons. Kevin Siggy, he won in 2022. And the most impressive thing about Tim Yarshall is that he beat both Kevin and Moritz to becoming champion in 2024. So, yeah, that's the most impressive thing, really, I can say about Tim. And he's looking to become, again, the first ever 2-time champ. Right, let's check out the track information for today. You've just seen it. We had some amazing racing action with our Community Cup there. But let's check out exactly what we have got in store today. So there it is, Zandvoort in the Netherlands. You can see we've got a 20-minute and a 30-minute time race. The circuit length is 4.3 kilometers long. There are 14 corners. The most important corners, though, really are turn number 1, turn number 4, and turn number 14. If you can set up through turn number 13 and then into 14 for turn 1, it's a brilliant opportunity at an overtake. But because of the banking through all 3 of those corners, it means that there are multiple lines through there that can be quick depending on the circumstances. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out on people taking different lines through each corner. BOP, let's check out the BOP then. I know a lot of people like to talk about this stuff. I don't. I find it very boring, and it just creates a story that just doesn't really matter. But there is a BOP, of course, to make sure it's fair for everybody. So the Ferrari has got plus 13 kilograms. You've got the Porsche, who's got plus 17 kilograms, which is a good meal for me. We've then got the McLaren 720S, which is plus 2 kilograms. The BMV has got 12 kilograms. The Lamborghini Huracan has got 9 kilograms. And the Mercedes has been given 6 kilograms. And that is to indeed balance all of the cars so that it's as close as possible for your viewing pleasure. Right, let's check out then the car selection. See how many people have selected what car. We can see that the most chosen car then is the Porsche 911 GT3. Then we've got the Ferrari 296, who's got 9 choices, so the 1 less than the 10 that have chosen the Porsche. We've then got the BMW, who's got 8 choices. Then the Lamborghini Huracan has got 3 people that have chosen it. We've got then the McLaren and the Mercedes, who've both got 1 selection each. Hold on. We've got... My Miggy said, I'm scared of Zandvoort, but not of Nürburgring. Okay, I'm not sure what the context of that is, but if you're scared of a race circuit, again, maybe I know a counsellor that can help you. I don't know. But here we are. We've got first of all, just shows how much they care about our broadcast, guys. We don't have a little office. We don't have a little desk or anything like that. We're just at home, just chilling. Look at it. Look at how professional. Look at the German one. It's unbelievable. They've got their own big screen. They've got their own graphics on the front of the desk. They've even got a wheel rim that they've stolen off a car that someone doesn't know about. Unbelievable. But then you've got all the drivers there in their Zoom call, just chilling. But yeah, just outrageous As we see, then also there's some. We're actually looking at the German broadcast there by the looks of things. They've got trophy graphics as well. We don't have that. We weren't given that, so it is what it is. But yeah, no, there is a German broadcast. If you've just accidentally dropped onto the English channel and you're like, oh, I speak German and I don't want to listen to this guy talking right now, then you can head over to there as well. Right, here we are. We're into qualifying, ladies and gentle cars, for the DTM Esports 2025. This is qualifying. Yes, it is. Says Q there. Connery, I'm going to let you talk now, so it gives my voice a little bit of a break. But, we're here. I can't wait.
Absolutely. First qualifying session of the main season then, folks. And of course, just to explain how qualifying will work here, the drivers will have themselves 10 minutes. And it's, it's just solo qualifying, okay? So there's no sort of open qualifying, there's no shared track going on. It is just a driver versus their individual track. So they'll get a lot of opportunity to put some fast laps in here. They'll be able to use the entire 10 minutes to be able to get themselves their fastest lap time sorted out. That doesn't mean to say that there's not drama towards the end of these qualifying sessions. Anything but. We had throughout the shootouts some last-minute pole positions and podiums, or rather podium starts, shall we say, or front two-row starts. So there's still a lot of opportunity for some late qualifying drama, despite this format you would have on first thought would start to reduce that.
Look who has taken provisional pole here in the least chosen car. It's Isaac Price, who was so dominant in shootout number 2. Of course, Tim Yarshall was the big story from shootout 1, but in shootout 2, we've got Isaac Price, who was absolutely ace at the Lausitz ring. You can see here, he is currently about 700ths of a second clear of Isaac Price. And you've got Andika Rama Maulana, who's making his name on RaceRoom this season, currently in 3rd spot. Where is Tim Yarshall? He's only in 6th right now. So for my money, that is, you've got to be pretty happy with that. And there is Isaac Price, just looking all slick there in his sim room. But yeah, doing a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. We will get the opportunity to have a look at a couple of our drivers, because they have been kind enough to share their webcams, I suppose, coming into this one. So you can see, well, if we time it right, we can see the emotion of any situation that may be happening out there on circuit. Say they take the race win, or they're involved in a very intense battle and get tagged around. Lots of things to see. As we see Leonard Krippner go to provisional pole position, the Porsche on pole, as Fiducci gets himself a good lap time in, the Ferrari getting themselves involved up there. But look, we got quite a diversity inside the top 5 at the moment in terms of our manufacturers, but Drace puts another Porsche on pole.
Yeah, and that's slight bad news, I'd say, for the likes of Isaac Price, when you're seeing Porsches start to hit the top of the timing towers and the name isn't Tim Yarshall next to it. So you've got to think that car is pretty quick still, even though it's got the heaviest BOP added to the car. And actually, where has that put Isaac Price? So he's down in P5 now. We're on board here with Philip Drays. We're on board with Drays? Yeah, we are on board with Drays, who has taken provisional pole, which is, tell you what, if it ends up like that, that will be the shock of the season so far, to be fair, as we're about to see Tim Yarshall, who is about a 10th of a second down on the best time so far in this session, unless it's an unbelievable sector number 3, and we're not really expecting to see Tim Yarshall move up the order. And actually, it was a pretty good sector number 3. Still a fair chunk of time down, P4 right now, but he'll fancy being able to work something from P4. As long as he's top 5, considering how well he did last season, by the way, he will feel pretty darn good about things if he can be somewhere handy in those positions.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on board with the Lucas Müller at the moment, who's gone purple through Sector 1. So this is looking like a pretty good lap for Lucas Müller as he'll head his way through. You just got to see, and I'll pull up his webcam right now. You can see the focus that he has. So you know, he's racing on an ultra wide as well instead of a triple screen setup. So that one is an interesting thing. Some drivers prefer the no bezel look, shall we say? But as Lucas Müller gets himself towards the right, the fast right-hander there, he's looking for that lap to be put together. He was green through the second sector as well, so he relaxes a little bit just as he comes across those grid spots up to the start-finish line. What's the time going to be for Lucas Müller? Good enough for P4.
Yeah, very nice stuff there for Lucas Müller. I'm also part of the ultra-wide gang. Not just me personally, I mean the monitor I use. So there'll be some people laughing about that. But yeah, Philip Drees currently still the fastest. Leonard Krippner still second. Gianmarco Fiducci, the first of the non-Porsche drivers, currently in third position, and that would be a really good effort, I think, from Fiducci. Lucas Müller, Tim Yarshall looking to try and improve right now and move himself back up. Of course, the defending champion got the number one on the car, which I'd love to see that. I love it when drivers do choose to put the number one on their car when they are the championship winners. Of course, it is their choice. They could choose their favorite number, but I think it's very nice when they do indeed do that, as we're heading down towards the final timing beam cut, and it's green again. So this is faster for Tim Yarshall, but there's no purple. This would be good enough for second, though. This would be good enough for second. So we've just got to nail the final two corners, and this will be good enough for a front row start then for Tim Yarshall. And the start of his defense of the DTM Esports Championship is looking very strong indeed. We exit then the final curve, and I'm sure we're about to see him reset straight away to go again. But what is his time this time round? Can he find those 200s at the end to go pole? Across the line he goes, and actually, it was not a good final sector, only good enough for third, which, in all fairness, is still absolutely amazing. Top 30 separated, by the way, by 0.8 of a second. You have to go down to P24, where it's not half a second. This is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. It was looking like a good lap there from Fiducci, but an error on the brakes there means that he takes the toe back to the start and he can get himself out for another flying lap. Juha's currently on screen right now. Very good sector 1, decent sector number 2 as well. So this is looking like a tidy lap for Christian as he drops down a couple of positions as others try to improve their lap time. But if he can nail this third sector, we can see Juha's jump up the order.
Yeah, I'd say if he can, even if he only loses 1/10 of a second in this final sector, it's going to put him somewhere handy in that top 10. So we're about to see him come across the line. Juha's then for that Hungarian flag livery as well for Sheze Esports. Across the line he goes, it's P12. So an improvement, and again, you find 1/10 of a second. Oh, so we're about to see Philip Drees maybe improving his time. But you find a couple of 1/10 of a second in this session, you are going to shoot up the order.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the top 3 are covered by half a 1/10 of a second. It's pretty crazy here at the moment. Oh, actually, well, just over half. Yeah, they're covered by half a 1/10. So I shouldn't doubt myself.
It's about to be a lot bigger as we go across the line. That is outrageous there. Drees with a 32.6. Can you get the track graphic up just very quickly for me, Connery? Because the real life lap time record is on there from DTM. And there it is. So it's a 133.6. So they're nearly a second faster than what we see in DTM. So a 132.6 is the time that has been produced. And Leonard Krippner on his final attempt. Yeah, he won't be able to put another one in. And this is the key now. If they haven't started a lap now, that is it. They're done and dusted. Once it hits 0, the session is indeed over. And Philip Drees is looking very good. And this is not a name I would say would be right up there and challenging at the sharp end. This is always a surprise in DTM Esports, and we saw that a couple of times in the shootout, in both shootouts. There's always a surprise, but the fact that we're seeing it in the main championship, that's another big surprise for me. Dre's looking very quick.
Yeah, definitely think we wouldn't. I mean, he's a very strong driver, don't get me wrong, but like in terms of championship discussion coming into this season, but not the first choice. Maybe you're like, maybe one of your choices eventually, but definitely really showing what he's capable of here, mixing it in with the top of the field. It's an all-German front row here at the moment.
Was the same last season. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Tim Yarshall was someone who's been there or thereabouts. Same as Drees. Drees has been there or thereabouts, sort of top 10s before last season. It was the same for Tim Yarshall, but Yarshall just reached a new level. And it was a domination of the championship, to be honest. It was unbelievable last season. And this season, it looks like Philip Drees might be a new name to add to the list of elite race room talent, because he takes the first pole position of the season with a 32.6. That is super, super impressive. And yeah, that is definitely setting a marker to the rest of the field, which will be worrying because I'm obviously they're all aware of Philip Drees and they're all aware of how fast he is. But I'm pretty sure if you asked every single driver on this grid who the top 3 to be worried about, I'm not sure. Maybe a couple would have mentioned him, but I'm not sure most of the grid would have done.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe a lot of work going in behind the scenes before this event for Philip Drees, and he is your first DTM Esports 2025 pole position sitter here in the main season. So congratulations to him. It's an all-German front row as well. And we'll be getting underway on our formation lap here in just a second. So you will see the lights go green, but don't worry, that's not the start of the race. They will pace behind the pace car for a lap, and then they'll get themselves a rolling start.
Come on in, chat. I'm watching the YouTube DTM chat right now, and I'm also watching my own chat. Connery, I'm sure you're probably watching some other ones. But get your predictions in right now. I think we're live also on RaceRoom's Twitch, and we're live on RaceRoom's YouTube as well. But yeah, get your predictions in the chat right now. Who do you think can go out there and win this race? Just one name I want from you all watching right now. So let me know who you believe or do you want to win this race. It is Philip Drees on pole position with Krippner in second. Isaac Price is in third, the first of the non-Porsches in the McLaren. We've then got Lucas Muller in fourth position. We've then got Andika Rama Maulana, who is in fifth position, the Indonesian, in the first of our Ferraris. Tim Yarshall, the reigning champ, only in P6, maybe. This is a bit of a wake-up call for him, seeing some names ahead of him. Fiducci then in seventh, Sheehan in eighth spot. We've then got Kunze and Hassa as your top 10. Hakkinen, Juhas, Neg, and then got Michel Ottaviani and Drovozikov in your top 16. Come on then, Connery, who are you going for?
Well, I mean, you can't complain about a qualifying performance like that from Drees. Let's just say that. Does that convert into race pace, however? We will have to wait and see, especially when you've got a good couple of very eager drivers to try and get themselves a good start right behind you. So it's first race nerves, it's first race start nerves of the new season. We'll have to see if everyone gets themselves unscathed down in towards turn number 1. But, you know, with the evidence that we have, with Drees doing so well, I mean, betting against him is certainly lower odds, shall we say. But don't count out anyone inside that top 10.
Yeah, well, I'm going to predict someone because Connery decided to sit on a fence. That's fine, no worries. I think experience counts for a lot here. So Tim Yarshall, I think, might be a little bit too far back for a 20-minute race. But Isaac Price is not. I think the McLaren and Isaac Price might be the car to choose here. So that's who I'm going for. I'm going for the Papaya McLaren as we're about to see the Cupra pace car come in to the pits. It'll be Philip Drees that will take us away. We've got Alex Inache who says Mikhail Neg. We've got Mason who said Isaac Price as well. So me and Mason are on the same page here then. Round the final corner. Oh boy, this is going to feel good to say. We've been waiting a full year to say this again. But the DTM Esports 2025 is about to go green, and we're about to go racing here at Zandvoort for the first race of 12. The reigning champ is in P6, the only contender that could go and become a two-time champion. But there are so many pretenders out there with Philip Drees, Krippner leading the way, and we're off, and we are green light racing. And there is the McLaren, who's got an absolute flyer around the outside here. Can Isaac Price make something happen? Drees goes very defensive. There is contact between Drees and Krippner had to back out. And Isaac Price has got the move done here. He is up to P2, and wow, that could have ended really badly for both Porsches at the front. It didn't, they're okay. And Andika Rama Maulana in the Ferrari looking to take P3. It's not quite going to work out. Krippner's going to hang on. But the big story here is that Isaac Price has made the move. But Philip Drees up front pole position, holds on, and he leads the race.
Yeah, absolutely mega start there from Isaac Price, getting himself up in towards P2 as they wind their way through this middle sector now. It's still 2x2 deeper in the pack, however. No major dramas as far as I can see from anyone, apart from maybe Mihai Neg, who's about 5 to 10 seconds off the back of the entire pack here at the moment. Not sure exactly what happened to him, but the front couple still single file. But Lucas Muller getting challenged by Fiducci down the inside here. Fiducci that gets the Ferrari through on the Porsche.
Yeah, he does. Brilliant move there, Lucas Muller. He's one of those drivers that would like to get this back as soon as he possibly can and decides to back out of it. And he's got his teammate there, Tim Yarshall, waiting in behind. And that could be a bit of a negative there for Yarshall because, you know, unless you let through, you kind of have to be a bit more patient with your teammate. And, you know, Yarshall, who is a dominant champ, as it was last season, will be hoping to get past as quickly as possible. So you kind of don't really want it to be a teammate in front. So that's a very interesting situation that I'm sure we will see develop as we see some movement a bit further back. As we come down towards turn number 1, Drays is going to hang on. You know that Isaac Price is going to take his time if he possibly can. There is Emre Cihan, who's actually looking to take on Tim Yarshall here as we head up towards turn number 4, and that banked left-hander for the second time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, couple of positions being shaked up in the very early stages here as we watch these mid-pack cars head their way around. A little bit of disagreements further back, bit of a train behind Hakkinen here. And no, it's not that Hakkinen, it's Turka Hakkinen in P11 here at the moment.
Yes, the better Hakkinen of all of the Hakkinens that's ever raced. We've got Turka Hakkinen doing his thing here. We've got Mitchell just in behind as well, and actually under a lot of pressure from Ottaviani in that very famous RHG livery. As we come through the double right-hander, it's not going to work out there, and big slide actually from Mitchell. He's just about going to hold on. Bit of door banging. Maybe the door's going to be left open for Drozikov to maybe come through and make a move. And Ottaviani has all of a sudden gone from being the predator to the prey.
Yeah, he has. It's so easily done here at the in these sorts of races where everyone is so close together. You saw how close the qualifying order was. Just a couple of tenths of a second separating a lot of these guys at the very front of the field. So obviously their race pace is going to be similarly close too. So you got to be careful when you go on the offensive here, because you know, if you don't get it right and you don't solve, you don't get past quickly, you've got a train of cars right behind you, trying to get themselves through. Hakkinen looking towards the inside there on Florian Hasse in towards turn number 1. Michel with an opportunity over Ottaviani a little bit further back.
Oh, this is just one of those situations where if you try and make a move, you've got to make it stick perfectly, because you are just going to hemorrhage positions yourself if you go offline, even by half an inch. The front 2, this is what I mean by experience, why Isaac Price was my pick today, because he is within striking distance of Drays, but right now they are gaining on the field by about 2 tenths, maybe 3 tenths a lap, and he will want to make this a 1v1. He'll keep his tyres in good nick, he'll drive within himself, and then he'll look to pounce like a panther with 5 minutes to go. That's the difference between Isaac Price, and potentially Drays. Isaac Price has won major championships in sim racing. Drays is yet to get that major under his belt. Again, very similarly to Tim Yarshall last season. We were saying exactly the same about Tim in the races number 1 and number 2 last season. But obviously he went up there and dominated the championship and got that major DTM Esports championship on his belt. And Drays is still yet to prove that point. But look at the gap. It's 2 tenths of a second. They're full second now ahead. And in all fairness, if Isaac does now get an opportunity, expect him to potentially take it on. We're on board with Tim Yarshall. And again, we get to see that very famous angle where, apparently he's got the sun in the corner of his room. He's not really putting a lot of pressure here on Lucas Muller. And actually, if anything, Emre Cihan might be able to attack there. There's contact between the two of them as they head towards turn number 1. Can Emre Cihan get the cutback? Not quite going to work out. Head down towards turn number 4 once again. And Tim Yarshall is just defending here. He's not looking to move forward whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. As well, I mean, if there's one driver that should be able to defend quite comfortably, it is Tim Yarshall, our previous champion. But not the trailblazer sort of start to the season that he would have hoped for at the moment. Yes, a solid top 10 finish in this first race would be at least a foothold, but he really came out the gates running last season, didn't he, with the great finishes. So potentially might be a different situation here for this 2025 season of the DTM Esports Championship. Having a little bit of look back towards your top 2, there they are. Philip Drace, Isaac Price. It is McLaren versus Porsche for the top 2.
Let's have a little look at the onboard here from Isaac Price and just see how much of this is he letting Philip Drace just drag him ahead here. 1.3 seconds the advantage again. They've gained another couple of tenths of a second, and this is perfect right now. He's just going to force a mistake here, and actually he's got a really nice run. This might be that opportunity then. He is in that slipstream. He's going to move to the right-hand side here. Philip Drace is going to force him to go the long way round. And this is what I mean. This is what I mean. He's not going to try and make the move here at all. He's going to pull up alongside him, but he's not going to try and keep the overlap. He knows right now that Draze is pulling them both away. Eventually, he wants to be able to make a move that if it doesn't quite work out, he doesn't cost himself a potential move from behind. So right now, they've got 1.2 seconds to play with. He'll want 2.5 seconds maybe, and then he will look to attack Draze, because if he doesn't get it right the first time, it will afford him 1 or 2 more opportunities after that before he's under a lot of pressure from the cars behind. This is what I mean by experience. This is perfectly being run now right by Isaac Price. The only thing he could have done better really was qualify on pole. But right now he is just driving a really clever race.
I mean, he's put himself in this situation because of that great start, right? Got the launch perfect, got the angle down in towards turn number 1. And now he's the one contending for P1 with a little bit of a buffer back to Leonard Krippner behind us. It's not comfortable by any means. It sits at about a second, but at least he's not under any imminent threat right now and can focus on Philip Drace directly ahead of him. But you are right though, with the way that Isaac Price tends to run races, he's going to be thinking, 5, almost 10 minutes ahead at this point, trying to think, okay, can we get the gap over the guys behind so I'm not under threat if I decide to make the move? And 2, where can I make this move? Size up your opposition. Have a look at where Drace is weak, where he's strong, where the balance of performance between the 2 manufacturers favors one car over the other. That's what you have to be thinking about, as then again, there's a defensive line being taken by Drace in towards turn number 1, but Price is just happy to let him do it.
Yeah, I will say the one thing that's going to change this is that Krippner started to fly. Krippner right now in P3. As soon as Isaac cottons on to the fact that he's going really quickly, he'll force the issue a bit more and he'll try and make the move. I'm almost positive of that. But right now, a guaranteed P2, the first week of this new season, it's not a bad result, right? And especially when you look at who's winning this race, if it was someone like Tim Yarshall, you think, do you know what, I'm losing points to someone who's got the pedigree, we know can win at every single racetrack. We just don't know that with Drace here, so it's just not a bad situation to be in from Isaac Price. And fair play to Philip Drace right now. He is keeping one of the elder statesmen of sim racing, one of the blokes who's been around for 15 years, not just in sim racing running laps, but at the very top end. And he's keeping them at bay quite candidly right now. And the gap is coming down. Krippner is starting to close up with 10 minutes left to go. And I think that we might start to see Isaac Price get a little bit more panicky, although he has dropped a couple of tenths this time around. But yeah, things are going to start to get a little bit spicy. Go a bit further back here. Tim Yarshall has caught up to the back then of Lucas Muller. I think he has. We're seeing a battle here for by the looks of things, P9. So the gap between P8 and P9 has grown quite significantly. Juha's trying to keep Florian Hasse in behind. And what's interesting here is we've got Ferrari, Lamborghini and Porsche all battling for a position. So 3 different manufacturers all battling at the sharp end for the points. And the point system is as follows. If you win this race, you get 24, and then you get 20 points for second, 18, 16, 14, then it's 13, 12, and it's 1 point difference all the way down to 18 plus, where you get 1 point just for finishing the race. We see a potential move being made round the outside then from Florian Hasse. He's going to get hustled and ultimately just pushed ever so slightly wide, which, in all fairness, if you're Juhas, you have every right to do so on the inside line there, just extending the corner, if you like, and holds on to the position. But this is very interesting indeed.
Yeah, it really is. All 3 of them stacked up together. Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche, in that order, through those S's section. And Hasse looks like he has quite a decent amount of clear air pace here, but is unable currently to find a way on Juhas, although he does make a bit of a mistake through the right there. That gives her the opportunity to Hakkinen down the inside, who swings it down and in. Has he overcooked it though? Oh, there's contact between the 2 of them as the Lamborghini tries to force an issue down the inside.
Oh, it's a really good recovery in the end from Hasse. Hakkinen just left the door open on the exit. He made the move. He had the car fully ahead of the Lamborghini, and the only mistake he made was just open up the next corner. There you have to go defensive. And ultimately, he's trying to think, I don't want to lose Juhas. He has done, just by losing that position. He's lost Juhas, and realistically there, he has to be a bit more aggressive with his defending on the exit there. He got it done. There was a slight mistake from Hasse where he runs ever so slightly left onto the grass, but ultimately it's on Hakkinen there. He was just not aggressive enough on the exit. He should have just turned to the right-hand side as quickly as he possibly could. As we see here, Maulana and Fiducci battling for top 4 as we go then down through turn number 1, and Fiducci will have it, and that's actually very clever from Maulana. He didn't really fight that, to be honest. He's now under pressure from the cars behind, but ultimately he would have been under, I think, a significant amount of more pressure if he did fight that. and he might have actually been under pressure by now through this corner here by one of those Porsches, because of the wheelbase in that Porsche. It's just going to be so strong through that left-hander. So as much as he's lost the position, I think that's very clever from Maulana, and now he's going to try and be dragged along by Fiducci. Gap at the front, by the way, just under 0.2 of a second to Isaac Price, now starting to force the issue. 7.5 minutes to go, and we're about to see who becomes the first race winner in the DTM Esports. Connery, I bloody love this championship. This is ace.
I love it too. The tension here for P1, it's obvious that Price is just biding his time. He's just letting Drace try to overdrive the car a little bit with the defense, because, I mean, we've seen Drace cover off that inside line time and time again down in towards turn number 1, but Price is just happy. Just go, okay, cool, do that then. Like, I'm not going to go for the move anyway. You compromise your line, you compromise your tires by overdriving it. Absolutely. So then you start becoming much more vulnerable in the latter stages of the race. So it's a very cerebral approach for Isaac Price. Let's see if it works out for him, because Drace is going to make that the widest Porsche you've seen in these final 5 minutes.
I honestly think Isaac will do the same again here. He'll just stay right behind, get the slipstream, then pull out to the left-hand side for him, and ultimately just go into the corner coasting, let the Porsche defend on it, not worry about the overlap, although he's gone very aggressive there. But again, I still don't believe that's a committed move there. He's basically allowing Draze to have the perfect line through there, so that they both as a pack still get through turn number 1 efficiently and quickly, so they're not losing time behind, because they're still 1.2 seconds clear. So again, it looks like he's trying to go for a move, but basically he's just making sure that Draze has the perfect line through there, and they both get dragged through, and he can stay as close behind. Because if you're side by side and then just filter in off your own accord on the exit of turn number 1, it means you can really follow closely and be right up the rear bumper through the first few corners. So this is just a clever drive here. I would imagine that we get one more lap like that, and then after that it is going to be an attack for the race win.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're running on board here with Philip Drace, just with the rear-facing camera, just looking at how that papaya orange McLaren sort of looms in the immediate vicinity here at the moment. But Drace, you know, it doesn't look too phased, at least if you look at his face in the top right-hand corner. Just laser focus, just taking things as they come, and that's simply what you have to do here. You can't really get stressed in this situation. You have to take those deep breaths, although there's a little bit of smoke there.
There's a little bit of a mistake there actually from Draze. Luckily he's got a bit more of a gap than he's had previously. You will see the cars close up here, but Draze again has got a bit of a security buffer. You see Isaac's not even going to get alongside here. This is a coming of age race, isn't it? This is the opportunity. This is what it takes sometimes. It takes winning against the very best in a top tier championship to give you the confidence and belief that you can do this, that you can do this week in, week out. And that's what we saw from Tim Yarshall last season. He got that first race win under his belt, and he did not look back. Is this the occasion that Philip Draze announces himself as a top-tier, S-tier RaceRoom driver?
Could very well be, but it's just one race in isolation, isn't it? It's we're going to have to see the pattern throughout to be able to make that call, you know, because we got balanced performance things to consider. We got, you know, the different driver preferences for track to consider as well. So I would hold off on saying such a thing just at the moment, but he is making an impact in this first race of this season, and actually able to keep a driver such as Isaac Price at bay for so long is quite good. I think inside these final 4 minutes now, Price will really try to push the issue a little bit more to try and find the gaps and draw himself alongside.
Yeah, this is it. This is where it's going to start to happen now. You can see he is right behind him. There's no gap to work with. I think that this might be the lap that he tries to go for it. And Isaac Price is going to have to go the long way round here. He has to pinch onto the apex. He has to trust that Draze is not going to traverse out left here through turn at number 1, and he's then going to hope to have that overlap via the exit. And actually he's going to go for the over and under here. He's going to try and get the speed going up towards turn number 4. It's not quite going to work out. The gap is still pretty significant to the group behind, but right now Isaac Price, can he find himself an overtake? And it is a tough track to make an overtake on. That is something I will say here. But Philip Draze, as much as, you know, this is a coming-of-age race, the notion that he will be a DTM Esports race winner will be huge for him. He is German. DTM Esports is massive in Germany. It's massive in Europe, and this will mean a hell of a lot to him. And right now, he's doing everything correctly. This is a brilliant drive right now.
Yep, it is, and actually, as you can see the differences between the two cars, yeah, that Porsche really, really good on leaning on the tyres through the twisty bits. The McLaren, a little bit less so, still good, don't get me wrong, but you can just see it, you know, such an obvious extension of the gap there as they get themselves through the middle, the apex of the corners. The Porsche is able to stretch its legs a little.
Certainly is. Just seems like the exit speed here from the McLaren, from the chicane, is so much better, and then the run the McLaren seems to be able to get, the sleek McLaren seems to be just a little bit stronger than the Porsche, but just the cornering speed of the Porsche seems to be very strong. So I'm just wondering, is there going to be an opportunity here? This is the closest I think Isaac's been on the exit of that corner. Can he find a gap up the inside? Again, Dre's just going to hold on to that inside line for dear life, basically. And can Isaac pinch him onto the curbing and basically force him to be slow on the exit? Well, they both slide. They both slide there on the exit. And look who's now closing up. It's under a second now, separating the front three. And all of a sudden, Krippner, maybe the kryptonite to the front two.
Could be another little situation like that or two, and Krippner is absolutely in it. As Drace tries to establish a bit of breathing room here after that little error from the both of them down in towards turn number one. It was I was watching Philip Drace's webcam sort of off screen there for a second, and there was definitely a snap of the wheel when that happened, and I imagine it was the same for Isaac Price too. So yeah, both of them making a slight error in towards turn number one. Thankfully, they're all able to gather it up and keep going, but again, yeah, Krippner getting himself involved in this top three. We might have all three of our potential podium finishers battle it out for the final minute, the final laps.
And every single one of these will become a first-time ever winner in the DTM Esports Championship as well. So we are about to see a new race winner. Isaac Price, of course, has won in the shootout, but in terms of the actual main championship, has never won a round of DTM Esports. So this is a crowning of a new race winner. You see the group behind Fiducci leading Maulana, Muller and Yarshul. We've got 45 seconds left on the clock. We're about to start the final lap of our first race today. The difference between this race and the second one is that there will be a pit stop. Dre's is far enough ahead here. Isaac Price is not close enough to make a move happen. But what about the exit here through turn number one? Is there the opportunity in towards turn number four? Again, there are two different lines through there. Are we about to see Isaac Price shoot one up the inside just to force Dre's a little bit offline? We're not going to see it here. Dre's holds on nicely. There we go. Here is turn number four. The Isaac Price getting a little bit higher through the banking means he will get a bit of extra speed on the exit. It's not going to be enough, I don't believe, as we come then down through the roller coaster section, and then we head into the windmill section. It is brilliantly done so far from Philip Dre's. Is it Philip Dre's day, though? That is the question. Half a lap to go, using all of the curb on the exit. Now we've got this double right-hander, which is, again, another overtaking opportunity if you are brave, if you are close enough. But Dre's, once again, is just about going to hold firm, almost touching through there. A little bit of a sniff from the McLaren. Real last overtaking opportunity is this left-hander. Not really close enough, but there is just one snifter of an opportunity. It's not a high percentage chance, but down in towards the chicane, if you can be close enough, if you can force a mistake, then maybe on the exit of it, you can make something happen. Dre's, though, gets through, gets that Porsche through, drags that McLaren behind him along, and with two right-handers to go, it looks like we're about to see a new race winner in our DTM Esports Championship, although there is a bit of a slide there. Can Isaac Price take full advantage? He absolutely can. It's pole position for Philip Dre's, and it looks like it's going to be a race win also for Philip Dre's. It's a drag race to the line, and he just about gets it. He flashes the lights, and the German exhales and celebrates just a little bit. He affords himself a little celebration, takes the gloves off, and that was absolutely spectacular from Dre's. He's just defended against one of the very best sim races we've ever seen in sim racing for 20 minutes, bumper to bumper, and done it so well. And in the space of 20 minutes becomes his race winner for DTM Esports for the very first time as well, which will mean a lot to him. He is German, of course, as well. And is that the beginning? Is that the unearthing of another gem? Is Philip Dre's the next DTM Esports champion? This is what we said last time with Tim Yarshall. He won his first ever DTM Esports race for round one last season, a little bit out of the blue. And this might be another story repeating itself. By 900ths of a second for needracing.com, it is Philip Dre's that picks up the race victory. Isaac Price does finish in second position. We've got then Krippner, who did catch up near the end, but just wasn't quite close enough to take advantage of the two out front fighting. Finishes in third. Gianmarco Feducci made his way up to fourth position and held on. Lucas Muller and Tim Yarshall finish in fifth and sixth position. Emre Chihan and Christian Juhas are your top 8. And then we've got Turka Hakkinen and Florian Hasser as your top 10. We then have Ilya Drovozikov finishing in 11th position. Berliak, Ottaviani and Banki are your top 4 team. And they've got De Bruin and Whitvert are your next 2. Klaffenberg and Dixon are 17th and 18th. Huben and Kunze are 19th and 20th. Max Pfeiffer and Patrick Shari make it your top 22. We then have Mackenberg and Neg in 23rd and 24th, respectively. Philippau in 25th, Lloyd Bidolf in 26th. We've then got Leonard Carton in 27th, Manuel Vera in 28th, Vil Kraevi in 29th, and then Maciej Mnioniek is in 30th position. And then we have Christian Michel in 31st, and Andika Rama was having an unbelievable race. We didn't see exactly what happened to him. He was running in the top 5, unfortunately, is a DNF. And normally that means that he may, he's had some sort of issue technically, maybe with his equipment or a disconnect in the race. But, the community race was unbelievable, Connery. Now we see an unbelievable start to the DTM Esports Championship. We're having a good time. This is great.
Yeah, we absolutely are. Awesome stuff. Maybe not quite as exciting as the community race, but still, we got some decent side-by-side, decent overtakes going on. We had a very, very close run for the race lead. We had half an attempt at a drag race to the line for Isaac Price, but what a performance from Philip Drace, despite all of the pressure from Price, who not only is one of the top drivers on RaceRoom, but across any sim you decide to put him behind the wheel of, he's always getting those fantastic results. Such an adaptable driver, but for Drace to keep him behind for as long as he did and to be able to capitalize, that's a fantastic performance.
It's a great start, right? It's a really good start for Philip Drace. I will say one thing, though. The sprint race of the two is worth almost half or just a little bit more than half of what the feature race points are. So just to put that into perspective, Philip Drace scored 24 points. If he was to finish first in the second race, he would get 40 points. So yeah, it's a great start. But, for the likes of Yasha, who've been here before, for the likes of, Krippner as well, the drivers that have been here, done it, got loads of big points in the past, they will know that the most important race is the next race. It is, again, 10 minutes qualifying. The race is extended by 10 minutes. We've got a 30-minute time race, and there is one big difference. They have to stop for a pit stop. And the strategy call here, if you come in early, of course, you're going to be very quick to start off with and may get an undercut, but then you're going to be slower near the end because of tyre wear. It opens up all sorts of strategy calls here, which is really, really cool. The only issue is Philip Drace has 3 other teammates who they can probably play guinea pig with, whereas someone like Isaac Price is a privateer, he's on his own. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get that strategy call correct. But yeah, it's going to be spicy this next race.
Yeah, I think so too. It's sorry if I'm looking off screen because I'm having to run the stream as well, so I have to get myself all sorted to be able to get into the next race server. But yeah, change the complexion of the event changes now just that little bit because we have the second race where we do have that pit stop just to think about. Okay, so. This one's going to be an interesting one, right? Because, yes, sprint races, whoever's fastest wins, like in terms of pace and the overtakes, right? But adding in that little bit of an element of the strategy potentially might change the complexion of this race, and stopping at the exact right time, especially when you got so many bits of traffic that are around about the same pace. Trying to find a gap to get into without getting held up is going to be very, very difficult. So yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, and Isaac Price probably would have preferred that to have been a pit stop race there because if you're really, really greedy on pit entry, and try and flirt with the penalty, you can be faster, right? You can, if you do a really, really quick entry into the pits, you're going to gain time. And the gap was 2.5 tenths, and that would have been enough for him to get into the lead of the race. So that is a huge factor. You're right, though. Early pit stops, you would normally be put into the pack. So if you're a lead car, you tend to wait a little bit later. Do you take the gamble if you've got an engineer in your ear saying it's going to take this long, you should be able to find a gap. Does Isaac have that in his ear? He probably has someone doing that. Most drivers will at this point have an engineer letting them know exactly what they need to do. So yeah, there's just lots of ramifications of just a slight different rule change. The fact that the race is a little bit longer and there's a pit stop is as simple as that. RaceRoom is there's only one more race to go. So 10 minutes qualifying, 30-minute time race, and a pit stop, a mandatory pit stop where they all have to change 4 tyres is in the offering. Let's have a quick look then at the, what should we look at? Should we look at the schedule? Have a little quick look at the schedule of the stream so everybody knows that this is the final race of today's broadcast. And then we should be heading straight into our next race. So there we go. We've got qualifying 2. It is 10 minutes long. We would have an interview at this point, ladies and gentlemen, but unfortunately, Philip Drees is, again, we've only got 5 minutes between each race. So if the fact that we're hoping that a race winner from race 1 is that even ever going to entertain the idea of doing an interview, and especially when the German broadcast is the first on the list anyway, is almost next to impossible. So hopefully we'll get someone to talk to at the end of the broadcast. You just have to put up with us waffling. Then we've got the race. So qualifying 10 minutes, race for 30 minutes, and then we are done for race number 1. Let's have a quick look then or a quick listen to Kay, who we had an interview.
Actually,
I'll
stop you right there because we'll go straight into quali because the quali has just gotten itself started right about now. So yeah, we thought we'd have a little bit more time to be able to recap what Kay said, but we have a qualifying session on.
In all fairness, though, most people want to just be racing anyway, so it's all good. There's Huben. I'd say it's a new livery for us on the stream because we didn't see Nicholas in the previous race. We were really quite stuck out at the front. And Philip Drees, by the way, is the fastest out there. He has managed to get himself another 32. What did he do? A 32.6 in the previous? No, it was a 32.8, wasn't it? It was a 32.8. It was a 33.6. That's a record we have in real life. Leonard Krippner then is the second, and Isaac Price is half a tenth then down in 3rd spot. Hakkinen in 4th, Hasser in 5th, and then Tim Yarshall is in 6th position. So everybody's got a relatively quick timing already here, Connery. We're only 2.5 minutes into the session.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like they've gotten to grips with the racing conditions now, or rather qualifying conditions. As Drees, surprise, we do have to wait, unfortunately, for the cars to load in properly. This is sometimes happens, but yeah, Philip Drees getting himself into provisional pole position here at the moment. Another similarly quick lap time. Here's Leonardo Krippner again, another great time here in qualifying to get himself towards the very top of the order. So we'll have to wait and see exactly, if this qualifying gets shaken up compared to qualifying 1. You wouldn't have necessarily thought so, but I have been very, very wrong before, and maybe we might see a surprise here in the second qualifying session.
Yeah, well, you would imagine that Tim's going to go faster than he did in the first session. P7 was his start position last time round. You just expect him to be quicker. Philip Drees seems to have figured this track out perfectly, by the way. Again, to get to 132.8, to be the only driver to do that is very, very impressive indeed. Krippner will be happy with a front row start, but he will have to ward off Isaac Price. Now he knows where Isaac's likely to attack him. So we're about to see a potential faster time. Here we do. It is a lot faster. It is a 32.8 still, but it's a very, very low 32.8. We've got Joe in the chat who's saying, I'm just here to hear Crane waffle. Well, luckily I do a lot of that. That's my best attribute.
I'm glad that you're getting all the flack here and not me. Maybe I'm a little bit more unknown.
Isaac Price, P2. Wow. Okay, so he's improved. He's one position higher up, and he managed to get to P2 from P3 last time round with the race start. I think he'll be pretty happy with the front row here. I think he'll fancy his chances of getting into the lead. So Isaac Price is managing to get himself into the lead. If he was to win race number 2, he would lead the championship heading into round 2.
Yeah, he would. He really would. This race 2 matters, double compared to what the sprint race is able to offer in terms of points. So if you're going to have a better race, it better be the race 2. Let's just say that. It used to be in this series and other, and still is in some other Pro RaceRoom series where you actually get a reverse grid for the second race, but we did away with that, and we have this second qualifying session, so the two can be treated in isolation.
Absolutely. We've just had some really good information from Mason Cook here. He said Isaac Price as either Timon Den Blanken or Carson Fragosi as his engineer. So, yeah, shout out to Mason. Appreciate you letting us know about that. Yeah, Hakkinen. Oh, crikey. That's, off into the kitty litter there.
Oh, dear.
Looked like he was going, well, he's just been given purples there because he stopped early. He's a P5. And apart, like Dre's, who's been in the championship before, right? So we know Dre's is capable of racing at the top end. Well, now I've just seen Timon has just posted in the YouTube chat. Why have I just heard my name? Well, now we need to figure it out. Timon, are you engineering for Isaac? Is it you or is it Carson? Who's engineering for Isaac, even though he's a privateer? We need to figure out this information.
I've run out of screens to be able to see the chat since I'm running the live stream as well. So I'm gonna have to take your word for whatever goes on in the chat, Luke.
No worries. Well, actually, Timon Den Blanken is currently, he is engineering. Timon, if you are in a position, Carson or Timon, if you are in the RaceRoom Discord, and if you want to join the voice channel lobby, we'll drag you in and have a little 60-second interview if you want to come and say hello. If you want to come say hello, more than happy to hear about what goes into engineering. I'm sure you're in qualifying, they're just putting fast laps in, right? So, yeah, if you want to come and say hello and give us some insight into what you're doing, that would be very much appreciated. Because none of the drivers want to talk to us. Fiducci, who's cool. Mikel, that's a pole.
Whoa.
Where is that come
what?
from? Christian Mikel takes provisional pole. It comes out of absolutely nowhere for needracing.com. Oh, that is impressive.
Crippler going purple. Crippler's going purple as well through Sector 1 and 2. So all of a sudden, we might be seeing a shake-up.
No, I'm not sure. That's hurt him there. He's ran off into the grass for the exit. I think that might have just, and again, I think that's just undone all of the hard work. Yeah, and there you go. He's gone purple, and it's just not good enough. Turk Hakkinen is now purple through sector number 2. He is close to the wall. This is good. This is a good time. Hakkinen currently shy of a 10th off of pole. He moves up to 3rd position. This qualifying session is outrageous. What is going on here? We've got the top
purple.
Mate, we've got the top 9 separated by under a 10th of a second as Julian Kunze is about to go faster here. He's got his name on the side of the car. He's not running wide there on the exit curb as Lucas Muller moves up to 4th position. The top 10 are separated by under a 10th. Isaac Price goes pole position by 0.003 of a second. Julian Kunze, if he's hooked up the final sector, will look to beat them all. How quick has Julian Kunze gone? Across the line he goes. Is it good enough for pole? Well, actually, I say he's bottled the final sector. He hasn't. He's less than a 10th off of pole, but it's the 11th. Top 11 separated by under a 10th. This is outrageous. Outrageous, I tell you.
This is absolutely crazy, and Philip Drace is on a good lap as well. 2 purple sectors, but look how much purple's on the timing tower. This is absolutely crazy. This is a potential to be an absolutely insane final 2 minutes left of this qualifying session. Philip Drace, he heads his way in towards the final sector now. We'll pull him up on the right-hand side of your screen right now through the banking. Can Philip Drace re-inherit provisional pole position? But we've got multiple drivers on personal best, if not overall best, as Philip Drace takes back provisional pole.
At 32.7 for Philip Drace as Hasse goes up to P4. Turka Hakkinen is faster than he's been before. May be able to improve in a couple of positions as we're on board here with Isaac Price. Moritz Lohner, 2020 champ, is in the chat saying lots of new names shaking up the grid. Great to see. And then you see Isaac Price's name in there as well. There's lots of new names and there's some old as well. Good to see you here, Moritz, of course. Will always be a DTM Esports champ. And also one of my buddies, so good to see you, mate. And hopefully practice for what you're up to is going well. Isaac Price is down on his time, and he will not be able to do another lap time here. So this is kind of, he's just got to do it. He's just got to finish a lap, but he will be happy with a front row start. To be honest, considering he started in 3rd position and managed to get to 2nd by turn 1, he will be very, very happy there. But what a qualifying session that was. Pole was taken by about 8 different drivers. The top 10 was separated by less than a 10th of a second for about 3 minutes, to be honest. Outrageous. This is DTM Esports, baby, and it is back big time.
It is. Julian Kunze heading his way across the line now. Takes the toe at the very last minute back to the start, but won't be able to get another lap in. Ville Crevi won't be able to complete his lap either, so Oh, we gotta take a breath here, because what was that? In terms of a qualifying, I mean, it ends with the same pole position sitter as it did in race 1, but that was in heavy doubt at points.
I mean, every single season's been special for DTM Esports. Like, there's just no two ways about it. We had Moritz win the championship in 2020, Kevin won it in 2022, and then in 2024 we had Tim Yarshall, who again, he beat the previous 2 champions to be champions. So I would say that's the most impressive championship is Tim Yarshall's, because he had to beat the 2 previous champions in the same season. But I've never seen a championship this close. It's always close, right? It's always, 1.5 seconds covering the whole grid. But to have it, 3/10 covering the top 25 is outrageous. That is just as close as it's ever been before. I know Zandvoort lends to that a little bit as well, so let's not get too carried away. But this is the seeds being planted for a very special season.
Yep, it really, really is. Crazy qualifying, and what we got the top 5 all within a single 10th of a second. We couldn't really ask for much more in terms of how close this field is, and how close this qualifying session was, and well, hopefully that converts into a complete barnstormer of a race as well, as we wait for the drivers to get themselves all ready and all sorted for this event. It's that was so good.
So good, Connery is not able to talk, which is the first time that's ever happened. Here we go then. We've got ourselves a formation lap then for them to get around behind that Cupra TCR, and then we will be ready to rock and roll with the pace car. So yeah, we've got Dreis, who will start at the sharp end of the grid. Isaac Price, 1 position higher than he did previously. He actually started in 3rd position behind Krippner. Krippner's down in 8th position. Where is Tim Yarshall, by the way, in this qualifying? He's down in P29. That is unbelievable. That's how close it is, because he was, 6th at one point? That's how close that qualifying session was, that Tim has only qualified in P29. Wow.
I think the front half of the field was about within the same half a second of each other.
It is unreal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely unreal. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy this, guys. This is going to be a very, very good start here. We've got Mason, who said it's the first time he's watching. He's watching his teammate from ABS. It's an amazing championship, Mason. It always is an amazing championship. It's always close. The racing action is always good. RaceRoom also enables people to be able to race side by side, which is a positive. Actually, I think Tim did qualify a little bit higher. He just hasn't managed to get off the grid properly. So we'll see. He's overtaking already. So I guess he just decided he wanted to move up the order. So I think he might be P9. So he might be in P9. Yep. But again, that's still, before today, if you told me he's starting P9, he's had a bad day, in my opinion. Yeah. So, that's how strong he was last season. But here we go then, guys. Into the final few corners. This is race number 2 of the day. It's worth almost double points. So P1 is worth 40 points, whereas in the race previously it was 24. Second is worth 34. In the previous race it's 20. In 3rd position you get 30. It was worth 18. And yeah, you score a point all the way down from 21st down to 32nd as well. So here we go. It is about to kick off here. Can Philip Dreis go 2 for 2? Can Isaac Price better his performance from race number 1 and go from 2nd up into 1st? He's 1 position higher from the starting grid. Mitchell, who is the big surprise in this qualifying session, who we thought might take pole position until Price and Dreis pulled it out of the bag. He starts 3rd, and Hakkinen starts in 4th position. Some surprises at the sharp end. Dreis, Mitchell and Hakkinen, and I'd say Isaac Price. He's never really shown this kind of form, realistically, in a top-tier RaceRoom championship. So this could be the beginnings of something quite beautiful. 30 minutes of racing action here at Zandvoort then for race number 2 of the DTM Esports 2025. And it will be Dreis that takes us away. Look at those green lights. They're about to appear at the top of your screen. Ready, steady, and we're off down towards turn number 1, and it's a good start again from the McLaren. Wow, look at the pace difference. Isaac Price has aced it at the inside line, and he does exactly what he did in race 1. And Drees just gets boffed off a little bit, and he's going to end up down into 4th position. Hakkinen moves up to 2nd spot. Can Drees hang on to 3rd? Well, Mitchell's going to try his best to make that not happen, but they are teammates, so you would imagine they're going to be quite nice to each other. Although Christian has got the outside line here, so can Mitchell hang on? And Mitchell will get it. Mitchell will get P3, and ultimately Drees is going to have to live to fight another Dre.
Oh, but what a start from Isaac Price again. Again, he completely gains the upper hand down in towards turn number 1, and this time it's not a gain of position into P2, it's a gain of position into the race lead, and his closest competitor, Philip Drees, getting filed back through the order. P4 for our race 1 winner. At the moment, it hasn't gone very well for Drees, as there's a little bit of scrapping a little bit further back through the field. Ottaviani, De Bruyne, the two teammates there with Burliak, also part of the same team too, with the RAG Esports outfit there. It's you know, getting very, very close nose to bumper to each other, but as they hit the brakes in towards the sort of slower speed section here at Zandvoort, everyone pretty much strung out single file as they head their way through towards the end of this first lap here. But my word, what a first lap it was then. Isaac Price getting the upper hand on the start, able to convert it into a race lead at the end of the first lap.
By the way, Manuel Vera's got his dad watching, by the way, in the chat. He's a very proud father watching. So shout out to the Vera family. Yeah, just to qualify for this series, your son has done an exceptional job. How much pace does Isaac Price have in the car? Loads by the looks of things. Seems like a bit of clear air. He is able to stretch his legs there. And Hakkinen in P2, another big surprise in this championship. In the shootout was pretty good. You know, I wouldn't say set the world alight. I've not come out of the shootouts thinking that Sergio Hakkinen is going to be a driver that's going to, you know, win races. He's absolutely proven that fact wrong right now, because he is with Isaac Price and putting a nice gap towards Mitchell in 3rd position. Drees then in 4th. We've got Hassa, Yarshall up a position, by the way, into 6th spot. He's actually up 3 positions, so good start for him. And this is really the downfall of Moritz and Kevin Siggy last time out. The qualifying just outside that top 5 puts you in positions where you're having to fight with people who you believe you're probably faster than, but ultimately it just costs you time. It gives, you know, last year Tim Yarshall was always qualifying right at the sharp end, so he didn't have to worry about that. He was able to just drive his own race. If you're Tim, you are literally in the same position as what Kevin and Moritz were in last season. Just not where you want to be. You're fighting for these positions. You're having to make overtakes to gain big points. So yeah, it's not the best of starts for a title defence, but this is only the first circuit. As we're on board then with Juhas, who's trying to make a move here on the Romanian neg. Heading down the start-finish straight, you can see that Hungarian livery. RaceRoom Esports down towards turn number 1. 2 Ferraris. How much can you pinch him onto the apex? Can you keep the overlap on the exits? Brilliantly done. Really nicely done. He's just about kept it. No, he hasn't. So you can see how important the inside line through turn number 1 is, and neg hangs on from Juhas.
Yeah, absolutely. And in towards turn 4 they come, that on-camber left-hander where you can carry a lot more speed than you think, although Juhas will have another opportunity at it. Potentially, no overlap on the way through the S's, and, well, he's just going to ride the back bumper of that Ferrari instead. Well, the two Ferraris getting it on with each other here at the moment, but Neg is able to keep himself ahead.
Well, it looks like it might be a 3-way very quickly as well. There's a 3rd one getting involved, and that's Gianmarco Finucci, who wants to try and get up ahead, and he's like, oh, that flag on that colour. It's very similar to my country, and it's not quite the same as he makes a send up the inside. He's going to force Juhas off line there. I think that's a little bit too aggressive. That's the first time I'm going to say it this season. I think he probably should give that position back. I think that's a little bit too naughty, but he won't. He'll be for the post-race penalties and all that good stuff. But yeah, a little bit naughty there. I think Juhas can feel himself a little bit hard done by.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. As down into P11, so just on the outside of the top 10 there, and well, top 10 finishes, consistent top 10 finishes, will do very well in terms of your championship in these sorts of races and in these sorts of series as well, because it is a very difficult thing to be consistent when the margins are just so tight. There was Emery Chian there at the very front of the picture having a look on Lucas Müller, but decides that he wasn't quite close enough to be able to make that move down the inside there, so Müller will be safe for now, but Chian looking pretty hot at this stage.
Yeah, pit window will open very, very shortly as well. It will pop up on the timing tower exactly when that will happen for you all at home, so you'll visually be able to see who's pit and who has not. Isaac Price has done a perfect job right now. He can defend an undercut. So effectively what that means is, Hakkinen, you would imagine, tries to come in earlier than Isaac Price. And with a 1.2 second advantage, he just isn't going to gain that by coming in early. If it's only one lap, Isaac Price will then be able to come in and still be out ahead. So yeah, Price right now is doing a very, very nice job indeed.
Emre Can with the ultra close-up.
The OG.
Seemingly his background suggests that he's in heaven. It's just pure white back there. So actually, there's a bit of a shadow from the chair, but there we go. But yeah, that's the view for Emre Can here at the moment. I don't think Emre Can has actually ever shown his webcam or shared his webcam on the Zoom meeting in one of these races. So at least with me and you. Yeah, so it's nice to see him.
Yeah, he shares it on other websites, not this one. But yeah, nice to see Emre Can involved here. P8 currently. You saw him exhale there. It's not very many opportunities. We see some early pits then, ladies and gentlemen. So we see some early dives in. And this is just, an undercut. Simple as that, trying to get track position. It's one of those circuits where it's so difficult to overtake. Our championship leader coming in, our reigning champion, should I say, not championship leader, our reigning champ coming in is a telltale sign that he feels if he can gain some positions, holding on to those positions is going to be easy around here. There'll be other circuits this season where that just is not the case. But around Zandvoort, there's not really many overtaking opportunities. As we, ironically, we're about to see a potential overtake. So yeah, there we go. A little bit further back, we're on board with who are we on board
Vera.
with this far back?
Is
Oh, there we
Vera?
go. Yeah, we are. This is Vera. His dad's watching on. Let's keep on board. Let's go into the old cockpit cam and get a bit of Vera actually. So he's up to P23 because of the pit stop. And he's trying to find himself an extra position here with the Porsche. I want to break a little bit earlier there, trying to force the Porsche to go a little bit deep on the exit. And this might open up an opportunity to the right-hand side. Not this first part, but the second part. So if he can go through here pretty quickly, no, he's going to run deep. Is there going to be an opportunity to send one up the inside? No, he's going to be very, very careful here. And I would imagine you see probably one of these cars at least come into the pit. So let's stay on board with these two until they come past the pit entry. As we see a bit too much curb being grabbed there from the car in front. Not too sure who that is in P22 exactly. If we head then down towards there we go. Memeniak is coming down towards that final chicane, struggling by the looks of things to get the power down on the exits of the corners. And that's a nice line there from Vera. Maybe he used a bit too much of the curb, but using the inside of the curb there to help rotate the car, very similarly to what you would see at turn 4 at the Nürburgring, or turn 3, should I say, at the Nürburgring. Here we go then. I reckon we're going to see Vera come into the pits here, make an early stop to try and undercut. There we go.
There we go.
Does peel to the right. And honestly, it's like almost like I know what I'm talking about. What month are we in? We're in March. That's the first time I got something right, and I only get one thing right a year. So there we go.
So I can't ask you for next week's lottery numbers then?
No, unfortunately not. No.
I'm just gonna have to deal with that situation.
What about Yarshall? Let's check out where Yarshall is in terms of the track. How much space they've managed to find on track. They found clear air. Okay,
yeah,
this is huge. This is huge right now. There's an opportunity for these to just basically drive into clear air, drive into a gap that does exist, of course, at the front end, but it's just visually not being shown because there's the other cars haven't pit yet. So this is a big opportunity here, and this is Tim Yarshall using his experience from last season. What was the best track that we saw from last season with this being used? It was Sachsenring, I believe, where they just had to pit. They had to pit as soon as the pit window opened. And very similarly, this is happening here as well at Zandvoort. So interesting to see how this plays out. But I would be very surprised if we don't see him maybe even mixing it with the Podium boys by the time they pit.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone down to P21 has not come down in yet, although take Florian Hasse out of that equation because he's decided that now is a pretty good time to pit, and actually all on his lonesome here at the moment as he tries to find his pit box and gets himself in. Although there are a couple of others deciding to come down in now as well. I think there was another DTM Esports car I think came down in. But yeah, it's not well, in this situation, I mean, it would be very helpful if we had who's pitted and who's not pitted on the timing tower, because it can be quite hard to tell sometimes, but we'll try our best to try and inform you of that.
Florian Hasse. Got to stay with Florian Hasse here. This would be an interesting telltale sign as to where Tim Yarshall is. Where is Tim Yarshall right now? I can hear his Porsche. Oh, there we are. There we are. You can see them coming to the right-hand side of the screen there. I think Florian Hasse. Oh, it's not going to... Oh, it's going to be really tight. And Tim Yarshall, is he going to get him? He should have the speed on the exit. That puts him in a hunt for P4. I think everybody now, I think Hakkinen, Mitchell and Drees have to come in. If they're being given information by their engineers right now, they need to come in because Hasse has just lost a position because of a pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like those fresh tyres so good at the moment. So, yeah, Yarshall, he did a, what was it, last lap was a 1:33.277. That's faster than everyone apart from Isaac Price.
Right, there you go. This is an opportunity here for Tim Yarshall. He might be able to find a bit of magic here with that early pit stop. He's going to be slow at the end of this race, by the way. So let's not factor that out at all. It's going to be a tough end of this race.
Hakkinen in.
Oh, there we go. So Hakkinen is into the pits, and I think Hakkinen's probably clear of Yarshall. I think he's coming early enough to be clear of Yarshall. But again, we'll stay on board with this. We'll stay on board with, let's stay on board with Tim Yarshall. He's coming into that final chicane. He's going to round that final corner, and I think we're going to see another merge where they end up very close into turn number one. That Lamborghini lit those tyres up nicely as well, by the way. Hasse is closing that gap on Yarshall, but it's just one of those circuits where it's really difficult to overtake. But where's Hakkinen? Is Hakkinen coming out yet? That's the big question. No, he's not. This is going to be close. This is going to be, again, super close. Will Tim Yarshall be battling for that podium? Has he done enough here? Has he come in early enough to be battling for that podium? Where is the merge? No, he's behind him. He's behind Hakkinen.
Yep.
So, yeah, Hakkinen's done the right thing here, and I believe Mitchell and Drees have to do exactly the same. There's no two ways about it. They cannot afford for Yarshall to close that gap anymore. And I think Hakkinen, right now, by coming in early, might be staring down the barrel at a P2 here.
Yeah, potentially. We'll see how the race goes along. Of course, it seems like the early stoppers are the hold the upper hand at the moment. Of course, they are on the fresher tyres. They can try and get that undercut and those that go longer, but will they run into trouble towards the end of the race with the tyres, though? That's my only question.
Yeah, you know, it's very short-lived gains, isn't it, ultimately? But yeah, I guess it remains to be seen here, Connery. You've got to take a gamble sometimes. If Tim Yarshall, someone who dominated the championship last season, not had a great start, you have to take that opportunity on. You have to try something different. If it's not quite working in terms of pace, you've got to try something different. So it's nice to see that that's the case.
Yarshall 33.284 last time. Price 1:33.328. So the about half a tenth of a second going the way of Yarshall at the moment. So these are the baselines we're comparing. The fastest driver currently, or rather the fastest lap time that we have for a driver that has stopped versus the fastest lap time from a driver that has not stopped. So that's about half a tenth difference at the moment.
Yeah, exactly that. So it's yeah, that's enough, right? That is enough.
I mean, if you with enough laps potentially,
yeah.
But then Yarshall, of course, will have the disadvantage with the tyres towards the end on any of the podium sort of sitters.
Yeah, well, they're going to come back at him, won't they?
Yeah.
Of course. But I just don't know if he's done enough to get ahead of Drees and Mitchell. They've decided to just split the strategy, haven't they? Mitchell and Drees, and they probably Mitchell probably feels like he's going quick enough in second spot. This is going to be tight again. You know, I think Hakkinen might be. What's Hakkinen's lap times actually compared to these two? That's the one.
I don't have a representative lap time. That was the out lap.
Right.
The
Okay.
last lap time, so it'll have to be this next time by.
Right. Okay. Dokie. So yeah, we will find out exactly what the relative is between the two very shortly. Then, as looks like Isaac Price. That is a very interesting call from Isaac Price, by the way, to come in this early when he's that far out in front. You kind of, I'm sure you just stay out as long as you possibly can, but he's just decided, you know what, I'm going to split this race in half, be as quick in the second half as I was the first half, and just back his ability. He will come out, I would imagine, with a gap unless there's some back markers who have some serious issues. But yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect. Sorry, our cameras in the pit lane are not the best cameras, but you can see that Tucker Hakkinen, he's heading his way down the pit straight now. Here's Isaac Price coming out clear ahead, so that's not too much of an issue for him.
I think
getting himself.
I think Hakkinen's moved himself into second. What's the gap between?
We'll see how this works out.
Yeah, I think he's second. I actually, because the gap was more than 3 seconds. The gap is 3 seconds between Isaac Price and Hakkinen. Unless Isaac's had a terrible in-lap, I think Hakkinen might have just dragged himself into second, and then Yarshall, it will be very close with the boys. I think Dreys and Mitchell are going to be super, super close to each other. This has got all the hallmarks of being a very close finish for second.
Yeah, we got differences on the tyres as well with the different strategies, so there's that to consider too. So, yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Mikael, Dreys, Xian, all stay out. They stay out another lap.
Yeah, they've gone. They're thinking about attacking later in this race. I just don't think it's the right track to do that. I think Michelle and Dreys have made a big, big error here. And the longer they stay out, the more time it's going to be caught. Again, what lap time-wise? What was Hakkinen's last lap time?
Hakkinen was 33.4, a low 33.4, a high 33.4 for Michelle.
Oh, okay, this is close, man, because he was right with them battling, and he's been out now for 3 laps. This is going to be tight. This is going to be tight. These two are very close here. You imagine Dreys is not having the most fun being this close behind the car in front. I think Dreys might be the quicker one with a bit of clear air, but ultimately Mitchell deserves to be where he is. And I'm just surprised that they're waiting this late to come in. Because even if they wait any longer than this, they're not even going to get the benefit of those new tyres for a long period of time. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense why they're doing this. I think track position outweighs tyres at the end of this race. I really do. I don't think they're on the tyres long enough. So, yeah, I would imagine they come in as we're getting a look here at Mitchell in the Zoom call there as well through the final chicane. This has to be the lap they come in. I'd be super surprised if it's not. So if Mitchell doesn't come in, Dreys has to. Dreys then would inherit the position, I think, because of the nature of the tyres within this sim. So around the final corner we come. Does Mitchell peel off to the left? Or yeah, there we go. To the right-hand side for him.
Yeah, he does.
To the left-hand side. And does Dreys stay out? That's the question. He does. So Dreys now, it's got a bit of clear air, and he is trying something different. And I get that, right? I get trying something different when you know, Dreys is in that spot. So that makes sense for me. So there is our new race leader, our net race leader. Well, we don't know if it's net race leader. We think it's Isaac Price that's the net race leader. Hakkinen. Where does Hakkinen come out in all of this? So there is Mitchell. The next car will be Isaac Price that will overtake, who's quite far up the road. I tell you, Hakkinen, he might get lucky with this because he's not being attacked by Yarshall yet. And I don't believe he would have lost of any time because he's not been attacking. If it goes one more lap, he's going to start to be attacked, I think. I'm just not sure he's got the raw pace. Here we go. So we're into the final couple of corners. Mitchell is coming out. I think he's got him. I think Hakkinen's got him. I do believe he's got him. So we're coming down towards turn number 1. And where, oh, look at this, how close it is. It is so, so close. But the exit speed should be a little bit more for Hakkinen. Oh, it's unbelievably close. Hakkinen has got him. Oh, Hakkinen is P2. We think net P2. And Philip Dreys was behind, wasn't he? The Mitchell is, I guess, 3rd. But Hakkinen has come in at the perfect time. He's jumped from 4th up to 2nd via the pit stop. And that was deliciously done. It was nice.
Oh, just like the perfect time as well, just about sliding himself ahead. That is, if he went one more lap there, he would be embroiled in the fight with the 3 behind at the end of this lap if he decided to stay out because he was losing time. But he picked the perfect moment to come in and slide in ahead of the train. And now, once those tyres switch on, he's going to try and pull the gap.
Yeah, hold on. Now we've got one more to watch out for. Philip Dreys will be the next car to come into the pits. And actually, he's decided to stay out another lap. I think this is a mistake here. What's his lap time on the last one? He needs to be looking at a 33.3.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad. It was a 33.6.
He's in trouble. Philip Dreys is in trouble. I think he's going to come out right alongside Tim Yarshall, and maybe even behind Tim Yarshall and Florian Hasser. He might just filter in behind, in between Hasser and Muller, as Leonard Krippner does bring it in. So Philip Dreys here, by staying out longer, I think this is going to hurt him. One person who just, with all this excitement going on, ridiculousness going on, our race leader is just like, okay, yeah, whatever, I'm just chilling. I'm just doing my thing. He's managed to get out in the lead nicely, and he's not really looking back. Doesn't need to. There's nothing in his rear-view mirror. Why have you stayed out this late? I think this is a mistake. So yeah, it's a race win, and again, he might come out ahead of everybody here, and it was just I've obviously got it completely wrong. But I think he might have just lost a couple of positions in this race by staying out too long.
Yeah, it was a 33.662 last time by, and I mean, I don't really have that many representative lap times from those that just pitted just yet, but we'll have to see. Does he come down in now? He has to, he pretty much has to. There we go, down an N. So the decision is made now for Philip Drace. Was it the wrong one, though?
No, exactly that. What about Hakkinen and Mitchell? Are they fighting? That's the only thing that's going to save them. They're not fighting, are they? So it's the fact that they're all really close means their lap times will just, maybe not so much with Hakkinen, but for Mitchell, Yarshall and Hatter, because they're following each other so closely, they might be slow because of that reason. And there is a gap to work with behind Turka, but I'm just not sure. I think Drace falls behind the whole packet. If anything, he might be right side by side here with Florian Hasser. I think it's going to be that tight. He should be dropped. Well, he's got to be dropped now. He has to be dropped now. And there we go. So he's coming out now. I think he comes in right next to Florian Hasser. That's my prediction. We're coming down across the line here. Turka Hakkinen, I think, has just strategy. I can't do it. Strategy call wise, got himself a P2. Look at this. It is side by side with Florian Hasser. Yarshall's going to come through, and Hasser, it does get him. My God, that was close. The strategy call has worked for Turka Hakkinen. It is not worked for Drace. He's lost 3 spots because of it. And strategically is the word I'm looking for, by the way. Sorry about that. I nearly imploded trying to say the word strategically, but I'm just excited.
The unknown question now is, there's 7 minutes and 33 seconds left. Drace has the fresher tires of all of this group by a margin, right? The thing is, it's not the easiest place to overtake here. I mean, even if he is leaning on the performance of those tires and getting a couple of passes done, maybe he threw away more time with that long strategy than he would have gained with doing this and trying to come back through, because, you know, who knows how well these guys ahead are going to be defending in this situation. You know, he's got to hope that he's able to get through on at least Hasser really quickly to then challenge Yarshall and Michel further down the road, but there's no guarantee of that happening.
No, it's almost impossible. I think it's a reason why the championship winner or the reigning champ came in early. Isaac Price leading the race came in right at the midway point of this race. I think if you're P2, P3 and you see the leader coming in and he's 5 seconds up the road, you surely have to follow. You have to make that decision and go, do you know what? If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. Tim Yarshall putting some pressure here on to Mitchell. This is for the podium. This is to get his first podium of the season in his defense of the title. And he's going to send one up the inside of turn number 1. The gap is there. Mitchell will have to go wide. And the door has been left open. And Mitchell should have the overspeed on the exit and will hold on. Do you know what? That's really clever from Mitchell, because he could have panicked there and he could have defended that inside line, received a bit of contact, shot off into the gravel, race over. But he made a very conscious, very quick decision that actually, if I hold the outside line here, I will get the better line, I will get the better drive on the exit because of the camber to the corner, and ultimately holds on to that position. So that is very, very nice there from Mitchell.
Yeah, very, very thoughtful driving. Let's just say that in the defense. Sometimes you do have to compromise yourself in one part to be better at another, and you know, it's you know, as long as that second part is a critical part of the racetrack when it comes to overtaking for the guy behind trying to get past, then absolutely you do take that initial hit first to then be able to get the better exit, for example, into a critical section.
No, couldn't agree more there, Connery. And as you can see there, from that, you know, attacking to get P3, now nowhere near really, and hoping for a mistake from the cars in front. And all of a sudden, Mitchell is putting a pressure on Turka Hakkinen for that P2. So this is not over. 5 minutes to go. You've got the reigning champion 4th looking for a podium, and you've got the 2 battling for second position, 3/10 apart. This is very good.
Yeah, it's incredibly good indeed as the string of cars head their way across the start-finish line. 5 minutes left to go on the clock here for our second race of the DTM Esports 2025 Championship, the first main event, I guess, with these with the double point and the pit stop involved. Currently it is Isaac Price by 5 seconds, which is incredible. And if that does end up happening, he will, of course, be the championship leader coming out of round number 1.
Certainly will. It's, yeah, I think even a second position here for Price, considering Drace is down in 6th, is good enough, isn't it? As long as he finishes ahead of Drace, just because of the difference in points, it will be a very, very, very good start for Isaac Price. And I'm going to be honest, that's not the name. That is not the name that I thought we'd be seeing at the top of the championship. I thought it'd be handy, somewhere handy, but I didn't think it would be Isaac Price that would be the top of the championship. And I'm just chuffed for him. I really am, because I know how difficult his journey in sim racing's been. As much as he's been around at the top end, he's had to race for a lot of different teams. It's never been a comfortable experience for Isaac Price. He's not, and this is going to really sound harsh on him, but he's not the fashionable choice of driver. He's just does his business. He's just there to drive, and that is it, right? He's not there to make any friends. He's not there to do any of the content. He is there to just get results. And in today's world, that's just not the fashionable choice. But ultimately, results speak over everything else. And today, Isaac Price, just like he did in shootout number 2, is showing exactly why he's had the longevity he's had, and ultimately why he's going to be leading this championship come the end of race week 1.
Maybe that first race was deliberately a conservative drive from Isaac Price, just going, okay, P2, race 1, first sprint race, maybe try a little bit hard, try and push the issue a little bit more in race 2, yes. But I think Price just wanted to get that podium just to start off the season, to give himself that good foundation, because his clear air pace is exemplary at the moment in that McLaren. Something seems to be going right there with the car-trot combo. Whether or not that will continue for the rest of the season is unknown, right? Because these drivers are pretty much locked in for their cars, right? So
they pretty much about it. It is. That's it. Yeah. They're in this car.
yeah, exactly. They've looked across the season and gone, okay, I think on average the Porsche might be better, or on average the Ferrari might be better. Some of the teams actually are locked into contractual obligations to pick their cars, but overall, apart from those teams, they get the free choice as to they have to try and guess, okay, which one on average across all of these tracks is going to be better with the balance of performance too.
No, I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more with you there, mate. Again, that's a big part of this championship. Because in a shootout, it's just you could pick one car on shootout 1 if you didn't qualify. You can choose another car based on the track for shootout number 2. But yeah, you're right. It is, a 6-round championship, and they have to use that car throughout the season. And is McLaren the choice that people have maybe just underestimated a touch? Maybe just a bit of an underestimation. I've seen that a few times in sim racing, where there's a very clear leader in terms of BOP, and maybe there was just one car that wasn't looked at properly by some of the bigger teams or some of the bigger drivers, and ultimately just went a little bit unnoticed because it just wasn't, the fashionable choice, the fashionable car for so long. But all of a sudden, because of the weight being added to the rest of them, that is the choice to have. But again, I hate BOP checks. It takes away from the driving of the drivers, and ultimately Isaac Price deserves to win today, regardless of whether he was racing in a Skoda or a three-wheeler or a moped. The bloke's got a race win if he is to stay where he is. And talking of outstanding performances, Turkka Häkkinen, just like his namesake, right at the sharp end. This is phenomenal. And again, another new name on RaceRoom at the top end of sim racing, announcing themselves via the DTM Esports Championship. What a day.
Yeah, incredible performance from the Finn in this race too. It comes off the back of a very good qualifying session where he was battling it out with some of the top names that we're used to seeing. But to be able to be leading this train for P2, yes, I know there's a 5.5, 5.6 gap to Price. We'll just put that aside for a second. But to be able to keep himself ahead of drivers like Michel, like Yasha, like Hassa, like Trace, like Muller, Qian, all the names we're used to seeing at the top level of RaceRoom Esports, then he's going to be very, very happy with his performance here today. Of course, there's still another lap to go to try and defend, but it seems like he has a little bit of a tiny bit of breathing room.
Yeah, a tiny bit of breathing room in this series is a whole lot of breathing room because they're so used to racing so closely. We're on the final lap then of our racing action for you today. It is Isaac Price that leads, but here is Häkkinen. Can Häkkinen hold on to second position? Played an absolute blinder in terms of strategy. Similarly to Tim Yasha. Yasha's gained 3 positions from the start of this race, gained 2 because of his early pit stop. Häkkinen's gone from 4th up to 2nd. And this will be his best ever performance, well, just qualifying for the series was his best ever performance before this weekend, before this Friday. So to get 2nd would be his best ever performance naturally. And right now he is holding on brilliantly. And Mitchell, again, is another sort of not a new driver on RaceRoom, but a new driver to announce himself as one of the very best in the world. And again, I don't care whether you have Moritz Lohner in this championship, Kevin Siggy in this championship, that, you know, the litmus test is Tim Yarshall. He was the fastest over the last couple of years. As Mitchell is dropping down the order. So what's happened there?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's had an issue. I don't know what's happened there. Tim Yarshall's in third. We won't be able to see a replay, unfortunately, as we see Florian Hasser under some pressure from Philip Drees. But it doesn't matter about what's happening behind, because it's Isaac Price, who looks like he's going to pick up his first ever victory in DTM Esports. I'm pretty sure. Look at that smile on his face. Not the most fashionable choice, they say. Very fashionable in the winner's circle today. Congratulations to him. He wins the race in the McLaren. Turkka Häkkinen will pick up P2, as we've got Tim Yarshall in third spot. That's going to be your podium, although I think there might have been a bit of contact between Yarshall and Mitchell, so I guess we'll figure out what happened there, because Mitchell did drop down the order. Mitchell's going to be pretty annoyed by what's happened there. Häkkinen will have seen it in his rearview mirror, but not be too worried about it. So yeah, there's a few misdemeanors that need to be sorted out, but there's things like Isaac Price and Turkka Häkkinen don't need to be sorted out. Fair play for them both.
With Turkka Häkkinen right now, he's I mean, that seemed to take a lot out of him. Just look at him, just resting in his sim rig there. Just a little bit of a shake of the head, interestingly enough. Not sure what the shake of the head was about, but at P2 is an incredible finish for someone so new to the series.
Yeah, you know, he can be really angry about something, but he just doesn't matter what strategy call he played there. Isaac Price is always going to win that race. He was just that good. It's as simple as that. And there you go. Isaac Price wins by 6.7 seconds, which in DTM Esports terms is massive. Häkkinen in second spot. Tim Yarshall is in third, but we believe that there's been an altercation between him and Christian Mitchell, so we'll have to figure out what happened there a little bit later. Florian Hasser in fourth, Philip Drees fifth, Lucas Muller in sixth, Emre Cihan in seventh, Julian Kuntz eighth, Christian Mitchell and Gianmarco Fiducci round out your top 10.
There we go. We'll go on to the next page.
Leonard Kripner and Mihai Neg are your top 12. We've then got Ottaviani, followed by Dravozikov. We've then got Hugh Haas and Berliak, Banky, Klaffenberg, De Bruin, and Shari as your top 20. And then we've got, he's so good they named him twice. It's Vil Craigie in 21st, 22nd then for Marvin Mackenberg. Whitvert and Pfeiffer are your top 24. We've then got Manuel Vera, who's made his parents very proud today. Milignac in 26th. We've then got Philippau and Carton as your top 28. Bidolf and Huben, 29th. And, well, it's actually a DNF there for Nicholas Huben. And I guess that means that there are, well, only one more actually. Bo Dixon with a DNF as well. So there you go. That is it. It's done and dusted. There's no one waiting for an interview either, so I'm not sure what else we can do here, Connery. I guess we can.
Well, they go to the German stream first, don't they? So we might need to fill for time a little bit to.
We'll give it 60 seconds. And see what happens
seconds.
there. Yeah, we'll give it some time. But Connery, what a start. Obviously, the community race kicked things off with the old school cars, the 1992 DTM. And then we had race number 1, which was won by Philip Drees, first time ever winner for DTM Esports. And then Isaac Price, who's been around for a while, who's also now a first time winner in the DTM Esports Championship. What a way to set things up for the season.
Yeah, incredible performance from both drivers taking the race win. Drees holding off Isaac Price at the end of the sprint race. Price just perfection in terms of the clear air pace. His starts have been particularly fantastic. I'm not sure if he's doing some way to try to time them, or the acceleration on that McLaren is just particularly good. But for both races, he gained positions down in towards turn number 1. We'll have to see whether or not that's a theme as far as the rest of the races in this season are concerned. But the drivers might be a little scared of the Price race start.
Yeah, well, RaceRoom's just one of those sims where clear air, every race, clear air is key, right? Having clear air to run into is, you can take the best line, you can break at the best point and all that good stuff. But RaceRoom in particular is one of those sims where that is the case. So if you've found that your car maybe isn't on race pace as quick as the Porsche or the Ferrari, but if you could get it into sort of the top 3, top 4, and you've got a car that can start really well, and you're going to gain positions every single race, and maybe that's what the strength is from Isaac Price. Maybe that's the decision he's made ultimately that could win him a championship. Is it too early to say that? But he's definitely in the hunt, right, to win a championship already. But yeah, it was just a really fantastic start from him. Let's check out the calendar for the rest of the season.
One second, not so fast. We have Philip Drace getting himself into the waiting for interview. So as our race 1 winner, I think it's probably valuable to get Philip Drace in. So take it away, Luke.
Philip, Mr. Drace. How's this going to sound for you? Obviously, German, love DTM. It's probably something that you've grown up on. But now you are officially a DTM Esports race winner. How does that feel?
Absolutely awesome. It's very unexpected, to be honest. Wasn't expecting that good of a quali pace. Perfect quali lap in first quali and 10th race. But yeah, perfect outcome for me.
To be honest, for me, it was a surprise too. And again, I don't want to do you a disservice, Philip. I've been commentating on you for a while, and you've been in a lot of the big races that I've commentated on RaceRoom, but never really, pushing to win the big ones. And I deem DTM Esports as one of the biggest in terms of talent championships in the world. I think it's a very strong grid. You just look at qualifying, how close it is. But we saw the same with Tim Yarshall last year, and that the first race win was the first building block of becoming one of the best sim racers around on RaceRoom. Is that the start of a potential championship run?
I would like to say yes, but I think it's still a long way to go to comment on this for real, because we were just learning. We also were learning last season, and as you noticed, we were not fully up there. Open setups helped us a lot, I would say. And the good thing is, if you're on the pace in race 1, you somehow are on the right track with the setup. That helps a lot for the next races. And we just hope that we can build from there. I mean, having 5 cars in this championship helps a lot for preparation and trying out setups, doing practice races, practice starts. All of this helps. And yeah, I'm just hoping that we can go strong as a team.
Excellent stuff, mate. Well, I'll let you crack on and probably have a German beer or two. But congratulations, mate, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time for round 2.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's nice to hear there from Mr. Drace, a DTM Esports race winner. That's got to feel pretty darn amazing, Connery.
Yeah, and well, speaking of DTM Esports race winners, we've got the main event winner, Isaac Price, joining us for this one. And well, Isaac, what a race. It seemed like, I don't know what you put in that McLaren for the race start, but whatever it is, it's working.
Yeah, I mean, the starts have always been a strength of mine. And the way the rules are this season, kind of, if you get a good start, second is better than pole. So I was in the perfect position, really, but I still had to get the braking right and, commit fully. Otherwise, as we saw in the first race, you can end up not taking the lead from the inside.
Yeah, it definitely was a bit of a struggle. It's in some instances with the overtaking out there, but as that main race particularly went on, you just seemed to extend the gap and let the guys behind sort of fight. So obviously in that main race it's different from the sprint race in that we have that pit stop, right? So we saw quite a few cars actually come down in first opportunity to get their stops done. We saw how that played out, particularly because it seemed like fresh tyres were pretty good for the first couple of laps, and then things evened out towards the end. But what was your assessment of that situation? Because we saw drivers like Drace go very, very long on the tyres and ended up falling back in the pack somewhat.
I think that the most important thing is to get the clear air, because obviously when you're in the dirty air, it's hard. You can't run your own pace. You're running to the pace of the cars in front. For me, it was more just the pit stop. You can lose time by missing the box or braking too early or whatever. So if I was the fastest car on track still, it made sense to stay out just because I'm extending the gap. If I pit early, make a mistake or something, or have a slow stop, then I could end up being overcut somehow. So that was my thinking really. But we were catching some traffic, so we pitted at that point. That was how my race won.
Well, there we go. And Luke, if you have any questions for Isaac, definitely love to hear them.
I do actually, Isaac. I mentioned, you've been around a long time in sim racing. It's very difficult to keep the longevity that you've had, especially at the top end. And I also mentioned, and I'm sure you're not going to be too angry at me, but you're never the fashionable choice. You're there to do a job, right? You're there to win races. It's as simple as that. But what made you choose the McLaren? You're the only person who's chosen it. Obviously, any secrets now, it doesn't matter because no one can choose it. But what was your decision-making process for that?
It might matter for BOP testing, but no, for me, it was a car that I naturally fitted very well with. I almost used it in the shootout. The only reason I didn't was really because I knew that most people weren't using it. So if I was wrong, then I would be like going the wrong direction. Yeah. Whereas I felt comfortable to just take the same car as everyone else and make it through. But yeah, I kind of tested more testing, made sure, and I was happy with it. So for me, it was the right choice. I've got some good memories in the McLaren. When I won the iRacing World Championship back in 2017, many years ago with Freddie, we were in the McLaren then. So it gives good vibes, hopefully. But obviously, there will be some issues in the season when, obviously, I assume that I'll be focused on a little bit now in the BOP testing and stuff. So there won't be many people to help. But Kevin managed to win kind of on his own a couple of seasons ago in the Ferrari, so I'll be taking inspiration.
That's crazy you should say that about iRacing and obviously winning the championship in 2017 with Freddie. Freddie won the Formula 1 Esports last year. Maybe this is the year that Isaac wins a major championship again.
I was there for the iRacing win as well. I was there commentating on it. Yeah. So yeah, it's funny how much things change, but how much things stays the same. It's Isaac Price winning in the McLaren, So
yeah, well, the championship's got to be the goal now after these two races. So we'll head down and prepare for the rest of the season.
Congrats, mate. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
There you go then, Connery. Right, let's check out the calendar for the rest of the season, and then we'll wrap up and let everyone go home and have their nice... Well, I say go home. You're probably watching from home, everyone, aren't you? But we are done. Zandvoort is in the books. Round 2 will be at the Norris Ring, which will be in April. Then we'll head to the Nürburgring, which will also be in April. Then we've got the DTM Esports special event. I don't know what that is. I'm super excited to see what it is. Maybe we have to commentate in our swimsuits. I don't know. Round 4, we are at the Saxon Ring. Then we head to the Red Bull Ring for round number 5. And then it's round number 6 for the Hockenheim Ring. Well, there you go, Connery. It's all done and dusted. We've got ourselves a community race winner that's with Orban, which is a new name to the RaceRoom roster, I guess, at the top end of sim racing. And we've got 2 new race winners for DTM Esports. Looks like RaceRoom Esports is in very, very good hands. From me and Connery, I bid you a very good evening, and we'll see you in a few weeks' time for round 2.